these stories that we tell you are not bullshit. Like, they're real life stories that I'm sure you guys are going through. And don't let all the drama, don't let all that stuff face you. You got to get up every day. You got to grind it out no matter what. Look at the guy to the left of you. Look at the guy to the right of you. If he's the guy in the fight sticking with you, make sure you hold on to that guy, dude, because there's not many of them. I'll tell you that.
What is going on out there? Welcome to another show of the Two Stunads Podcast. Every week we are sitting down with business leaders, entrepreneurs, first, second, third generation business owners. We talk about their stories. We talk about how they got started, where they're at now, the ups, the downs, the challenges, everything in between. Try to get some nuggets of information, some little bit of words of wisdom for all of our guests. If you're new to the show, do us a favor. Hit that like and subscribe button right now. We'll wait. We'll take a second away for you to do it. But it really helps out the show. Helps out a lot of people understand what we're trying to talk about, the message that we're trying to help out with everyone, and brings the community together. That's what it's all about, right? Today we've got a pretty sweet episode. We got a new guy in the seat over here with us today. A new guy that's been here before.
Don't know what I'm doing.
He knows what he's doing. He's been here before. He's got but today's a little bit of a different episode. We're again, Two Stunads. We're just trying to interview these business leaders, and today we're kind of flipping the script a little bit. We're gonna flop a little, keeping varieties of spice of life, and usually it's me and Drew that's firing off the questions,
yes, sir,
to our guests, right? But today we're one of us ain't safe, and this one of us is going to be Drew,
little boy over here. Ready?
Yes, yeah. So Drew's taking the hot seat.
I don't even know what you guys are going to ask.
We brought in a special guest,
all the good stuff.
A special guest here today to help us out, and who better to ask these questions than our very own Carlo Bertoli. Welcome. Thanks for coming up.
Thank you. Of course, appreciate being here.
Yes, we appreciate you being here as well. But every episode we like to start with a quick little intro of our guests.
I can't wait to hear this one.
So I mean, it's going to be something, nothing crazy, but today's guest is a man who's cracked more backs than the WWE.
Yes.
He's fixed more necks than Apple has fixed iPhones, and somehow he still finds a way to be a husband, a dad, and the most hardworking chiropractor in Arlington Heights, Illinois. Founder of Forza Chiropractic. He's the F1 technique king, and the only guy I know that can adjust your spine and your attitude in under 30 seconds. My friend, my pal, my buddy, my good man, Dr. Drew Voelsch. Welcome.
Thanks, Doctor. Man. Appreciate that.
How you doing, bud?
I love that WD line. We need to add that to the website.
We need to start throwing some pile drivers on the videos.
There you go. Yeah,
seriously. Great. No, man, I'm excited. It's weird being in the hot seat. Actually,
it's a
we want to get your take on it.
Yeah, it's nice. It's interesting.
Yeah, I bet it is.
I'm usually ready to rip questions out. I literally have no clue what I'm going to be asked. It's like I'm going in blind. So.
Yeah, you're going to be asked.
Real blind.
Yeah, I have no. You guys definitely probably are coming up with some crazy shit, and I'm going to be like, oh fuck, I got to answer this. It's like a truth or dare thing.
Yeah, it's going to come out. It's going to come out. You know what I want to start with? I want to start with your last name. Let's kind of start there. Voelsch.
Yeah, my last name is German, obviously. My dad's from Jersey, Elizabeth, New Jersey. That's where he was born and raised. And then he ended up moving out to Texas, to Wisconsin, and then just the suburbs of Chicago. And that's my last name. So my mom's 100% Italian. Her maiden name is Sinibaldi. She's from Elmwood Park, and her parents are immigrants from Italy, 1955. And my parents got together. My mom's a hairdresser. My dad was washing windows, actually, and he washed the windows at the salon.
Really?
Yeah, got his hair cut in, and that was it. And yeah.
And here you are.
Yeah, here I am.
Something happened.
No, but that's my last name. My last name kind of really doesn't reflect, I guess, who I am per se, but, it's my last name.
Yeah. I like that. I like your hat, too. I want to jump in real quick and say that. How about that hat?
Beautiful.
Bella Capoline, right? What do you think?
A little Italian over here.
Show,
I like it. No, it's good. Where'd you grow up? Where'd you plant your roots?
I grew up in St. Charles, Geneva, so about 25 miles west of Chicago, if you guys aren't familiar with that. And, that's where I grew up. My dad was from St. Charles, and then, like I said, my mom's from Elmwood Park, and she ended up moving out to Wayne, and then Bloomingdale, and then Geneva, and then my dad was a firefighter for the city of St. Charles, and my mom was a hairdresser, and we just kind of stayed there. And
Beautiful.
then obviously we have family. My mom's got 3 sisters. She's the third youngest. She got one younger than her. All daughters, all 4, and they kind of moved out to the suburbs too, as well. And but yeah, my wife's family is from Melrose Park. My father-in-law's family, Elmwood Park. So we're constantly over there. We lived in River Forest. You guys know. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the neighborhood people. That's how we grew up. Even though in St. Charles, Geneva, it's very white collar, white America.
It's not neighborhoody like Elmwood Park.
They don't even really have sidewalks in some of the neighborhoods. It's like one of the unincorporated places and things like that. But the way I grew up with my grandparents, my nonna and papa, we were constantly going to the city, going to the neighborhood, just like it was what it was. The reason why my grandfather moved out there, he was a driller. So he came from Italy. He worked for Fiat in America. It was his first job as a mechanic. And then he got picked up doing soil testing on drill rigs. And he learned that trade, and then he ended up in Chicago because I think he had a cousin out here. And then from there, he started his own business. But there's no like big infrastructure to park like semis and stuff in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we had to move out west, and a lot of the jobs were out west too. But he did a lot of stuff in the city, and then he kind of just found land because he liked to be like he was in Italy. Had a lot of open land, farmland, things like that.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was there, dude. He was saying, I don't know if you guys are watching, like Schick Road, but back then in Wayne, it was like a dirt road. There was nothing out there.
There wasn't a lot out there even maybe 10 years ago, or maybe a little longer than that, but now it's growing like crazy.
Yeah, and
a lot of.
That's where they ended up, man. And it's crazy to see the development out there. But there are some Dagos out there. I mean, you're not far from Bloomingdale. It's not far at all.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 15 minutes from the west side, and I'm sorry, from the east side of St. Charles. But yeah, I mean, I grew up with them. They raised me.
Yeah.
To kind of go into that detail per se. And with them all the time, live with them constantly. So even though my last name is German, I grew up
The Italian roots
yeah.
are strong.
Yeah, it's and that's how it is. There's a lot of Italians that aren't 100%, and I feel like just with America, that's going to happen now.
Sure.
It is what it is. So, I mean, everyone always asks me, well, you look Italian, not German. I'm like, I know, but like, what am I going to do? Like, change my last name?
Right.
Sure.
No.
I know guys that do that. I'm like, dude, what are you changing your last name for? Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, who doesn't want to be Italian, first of all?
Yeah.
That's-
So, yeah.
Very true.
That's where I grew up. I went to St. Pat's Catholic.
Yeah, let's talk about I want to talk about your schooling, because that's kind of an interesting piece of your history. So let's jump into that.
Yeah, I went to Catholic school my whole life. So I went to St. Pat's Catholic from kindergarten all the way to 8th grade, and then from there I went to a military academy called Marmion Military Academy in Aurora, and that's where it was all guys school. But some of my best friends to this day, for sure. It was more, when you say guys school, it can come off weird to some people now, but back then it was almost like a fraternity. It was,
for sure.
It was like we were just doing guy stuff constantly. I mean, what was cool? It was like, if I had a guy that was from Naperville and I had a guy from St. Charles and then a guy from Bloomingdale, like, you'd be able to hang out with people from different neighborhoods and different schools, which was perfect for us, for girls. Dude, we were going here. It was like this. There's not a party here. It was the best. I mean,
especially in private schools, you're all the time. You get guys that are from all over because everyone wants to, and then you see that the camaraderie between everyone. It's not like public. I went public my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like we put my son in Catholic, and totally different kid after we put him to Catholic. But now, like, I see what you're talking about with my son in a Catholic school, all boys. He goes to Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
I never grew up. I mean, you're looking at girls all day at school.
I
would never imagine.
But like, I tell people this all the time. Like, the guys from like high school can't even compare to guys from college or graduate school or even grade school. I don't know why. Maybe it's because we're all together for those 4 years. But in college, you got people from different demographics of the world. So first when I went to college, I went to Arizona State my first year. That was my first year. And the reason why is because my grandparents moved to Arizona. And then, like I said, I lived with them. So I was like, hey, if you're going to go there, I'll go there.
Yeah,
I want to be with you. And they were basically snowbirds. So they go down there for 6 months, come back, And from where I went to school, I would graduated with 120 kids. So, there was 650 kids in the school. When you go from that to 60,000 kids,
it's a big change.
Big change.
Huge.
And I wasn't
especially Arizona. That's
it was dangerous. And
all guys school to party city over there. Crazy.
Yeah, and I wasn't a big weed burner in high school. I really I remember the first time I really drank, I used to have beers and wine, stuff growing up. But first time drinking was probably senior year, just graduation parties. So you kind of weren't really around that. And I went to Arizona State. I played lacrosse and rugby. That's where I went there. And then the biggest thing for me was like being the best player on the team to being like, not the worst, but like, you're playing against guys that are 22, 23, fifth year seniors that are just like, way bigger than you. They got seniority, like, and you're like, fuck, man, I'm not used to just sitting here and doing nothing. So it kind of fucked me up in the head. And then I got hurt, broke my wrist, came back, had surgery on that. And then I remember it was in the summertime. I was like, just regretting going back. And I was like,
playing?
Playing. And so, and being away and stuff like that. Because when I wasn't there in the summer, I was working. So it was a physical job. And I was like, dude, if this shit doesn't work out, like I need to go to trade school. Or
for sure.
And I went to school at the time I was in school for engineering. Like I had no clue.
What kind of engineering were you looking at getting into? Just anything right there?
No clue, dude. Yeah. Like I just went to Arizona State because they're the only people who offered me money.
Yeah.
I didn't even go and do any college visits. Now looking back, I should have done that because I'm like, whatever. But at the time, I got a 21 on my ACT. Like, dude, I wasn't a smart kid.
For sure.
Like, it was what it is. I had to work,
natural
10
born
times
hustler,
hard.
that's
yeah.
it.
And so for me, it was like, if this doesn't work out, like, why would I spend more money? Am I going to spend, the money?
Yeah.
If let's say I don't play sports, what do I do? Just fuck off.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? Like, I don't want to go back. And then the problem is my grandparents were going back to Arizona. And they're like, you can't stay at the house. So you got to either stay with your parents or you got to figure it out. And I'm like, fuck this, dude. Like, I'm not going to community college.
Yeah.
There's no way, dude. Like, I'm going to go to community college and stay at home. Like, because when I left home, I was ready to go. There was a lot of things that happened kind of leading up to it, but I was just ready to kind of fly. And then I had a buddy out in Iowa, and I'm like, dude, like, all I want to do is let's just focus on school. Like, fuck sports, just work out, have fun, but like dial in like what you want to do. Because if you're going to waste this time, then you're going to be in the hole, $200,000-300,000, and that's it. So I ended up going to a small school called Augustana College, which going from 60,000 to like 4,000 or 5,000.
Oh, so another change.
Yeah. But I enjoyed that because, like you were dealing with kids that were from the Midwest. Like when I went to Arizona State, dude, like the first time I was there, like, you'd have kids in the dorm be calling parents by their first names, like that they just met, which like, dude, I wasn't raised like that at all, dude.
It's terrible.
Like that was odd. Like you'd have people burning weed, going to class, dude, and like longboarding. Like, dude, I don't longboard. Like, I don't skateboard, longboard. Like,
you look like you'd be good at. You look like you'd be good at longboarding. Yeah, it's basically skateboarding with the long board.
That crazy board.
Yeah, as long as this table. Wheels this thick.
I was weird, dude. There was no Dagos. Like, I was like, whether you were just wearing Dago tees or whatever, like, dude, I didn't see anybody.
Yeah.
So going from that, and it was like all these California kids, dude. What I couldn't believe is like the money that was out there, dude. Like I didn't have a car, so I would walk everywhere. Like I'd ride a bike or something like that to practice. And you'd have these
So you
girls.
played sports out there too? Or?
Yeah, I played lacrosse for Arizona Sate, and then I played rugby, and then I got hurt, and then I said, "Fuck it, I'm coming back in the summer," because I went there for lacrosse. Because rugby wasn't like a truly sanctioned sport there, so I went there.
Yeah,
for
but
lacrosse.
I'm saying when you went to Iowa, you went and played sports again there too, or no?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. When I went to Augustana, which was in the Quad Cities in Rock Island, I didn't go to play sports. I just went for school. Smaller school, and I ended up being like, okay, like I like to work out. I like fitness. Like I need to maybe I'll do something. I don't know what I was doing, dude. I had no clue I was going to be a chiropractor. Literally,
right.
No fucking clue. Okay. And where does this story turn? So I get there. I'm a second-year transfer, dude. Now
Right.
going from like 60,000 kids to like 4,000, like you're the weird kid transferring in.
Yeah,
like you
for
got to
sure.
make friends. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, and they didn't have any like national like fraternities or sororities. They were all like local stuff. And I was like, dude, I'm not gonna like, I just got done, having a blast. Like, but I need to find like something to join. So they had like a club rugby team, and I was like, hey man, like I played Arizona State. I played 4 years at in high school. Like, I went here. Like, I'm not trying to play. I broke my wrist. I got a bunch of stuff going on. Like, I just want to like help out, manage, like just be part of a team. Like that was it. Like whatever you need me to do. You want to set up cones? You want me, like be the bag boy? Like I want to like get involved with the guys because I missed that like high school vibe. That locker room kind of vibe. And so that's what I did. And I was coaching and whatever and helping out. And then one day there was a kid that wasn't there and they needed more guys. And they're like, dude, can you play? And I'm like, sure, dude. So I played. So from there, dude, like I played and
then every week, we need you.
Yeah. And
get in.
And so what was weird because at the time across the river they had a semi-pro team.
Oh, wow.
And one of the coaches that was coaching the college team that I was playing for, he was like an assistant coach. And he's like, dude, like, you need to come try out. I was like, dude, I just transferred here. Like, you're asking me to go try out for this team and then basically, like, not make any friends. Like, like, I'm good. And it ended up, I went to go try it out. And made the team, and it was kind of weird because I ended up secluding myself again because I was playing for the semi-pro team, and the semi-pro team that I was playing for was associated with a chiropractic school.
Oh wow!
And yeah, so from like my sophomore year, I got paid, even though I didn't play, and even though I didn't go to school there, but they gave me money, and then I basically used that money to live off of. And then at the time, I graduated there, but I was still playing. So from sophomore, junior, and senior year, like I'd go to school across the river, but then I'd play. And so then we'd go to like Kansas City, Columbus, Minneapolis, Virginia Beach. We'd travel all over the world, specifically America. And at that point, then I got offered to play for Team USA and going out. So, I met my wife just around that time, or not met my wife, but I started dating my wife specifically. And I told my wife, I was like, hey, like, I got a chance to go to San Diego, play for Team USA. The All Blacks are going to come and play in Chicago. Like, it may be an opportunity that I'll ever do it. Like, what do you want to do? Or like, she's like, do whatever you want. And then I'm like, okay, like, what's the commitment here? Like, do I want to go back and like do what I did? And go to some other place where I know nobody. And I didn't. I turned it down. And I'm glad I did that because if I would have done that, gone to San Diego and gone and played there, I might have had a great opportunity, but I would have been in the same boat. So I was I'm not going to relive that again, like, and be homesick and have nobody. And then at that time when you're playing for like Team USA, like you're not getting, you may be getting 40, 50,000 to live in like San Diego. Like those guys were working at bars or bouncing. Like you're dealing with a lot of like Samoans, like nationals from like England, Ireland, like guys that are coming over that like have some sort of like American like visa or some sort of like American tie where they're able to play.
Right.
So like to me it was like, fuck this, dude, like I'll just go to school. And I went to chiropractic school, and then I was in a weird position because I had leverage where I could either go to Palmer College of Chiropractic, which is where I played for.
But what made you make that decision? Just to go because you were going to school, or because you wanted to do that? You were at that school and it was connected with it that you wanted.
That was it, man. If I tell people all the time, like if it would have been a trade school, like I would have been a tradesperson. Yeah. And obviously I was in the health field. I did pre-med bio and stuff like that. And it kind of just fell into place. If, like I said, if it was fucking eye doctor or whatever, podiatrist, dude, like that's what I would have done. But I just went and followed sports, and they gave me money. And I had a choice. There was another school in Marietta, Georgia called Life University, who had a hell of a program. They were better than us. They had better facilities than us, dude. And again, like, same thing. I was like, dude, like I got to go to Marietta. I don't know anyone. Like, not that I was like scared to go, but like when you go to a different area of the country, like, and if you guys are watching this and listening, like the people that you grew up with, they're not the same people that you see all across the world. Like it's a different value system. It's a different culture. And like, for me, it was like, I just started dating my wife. You know, we made this decision, like, you know, I don't want to be too far. Like, I wanted to focus on school. And then I turned them down. But, you know, besides turning them down, they offered me a little bit less money. Like, I got 50% of my school paid, which is huge. Yeah. And for an American national, it's like unheard of. And then I was super loyal to them because I was like, I can't turn my back on these guys. Like, they gave me a chance in college to play. I made the team. And
you just want to be a manager,
and that's it. And and it's kind of weird because like again, like I wasn't seeking out like playing rugby again, but rugby led me to
for sure
this. And so like I tell everyone, like I would have been, you know, if I didn't go to school, I would have been a firefighter, a police officer, a plumber, electrician. Like, you know, that's
blue
how
collar.
I grew up. Yeah, and you know, I have a lot of police officers, firefighters in my family, which is dude. Great jobs, great pension, great insurance. But for me, like I tell everyone, like I have a doctorate, but I'm just a blue collar worker. Like I'm a blue collar worker with the doctorate. That's all.
And you've got that blue collar grit as well. From the moment I've met you to, you know, today, like you've got that grit inside you. And I want to dig in a little deeper where that grit came from. I want to talk about how you came from, you know, Drew the kid to Dr. Drew. Like how were you when you were younger? Like, did you have the same kind of drive to always be, you know, perfect is never good enough. It needs to be above. Like, I want to know, where did that come from?
Yeah, that was always, dude. There was no option. Like there was no second place. Like, you know.
But would you say you were always like that? Or is it you got older, it grew into you?
I mean, I would say I was like being raised with my grandfather, Dominic Sinibaldi, like with him every day on the trucks, you know, in the field, on the farm. Like that's all I knew. I saw it. And so like, I just kind of replicated it. And so like, I wasn't like the kid that like fucked off in grade school or whatever. Like there was none of that. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, you're going to get cracked. And like, this is what we're going to do. There's no option.
You were scared of him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like it was almost like, you know, like I was scared to like let him down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like for me, it was like, dude, like, you know, he would tell me he's proud of me and like, you know, don't get discouraged. He was really good with teaching me how to problem solve.
And most parents don't even do that.
Dude, you know, like, but he wouldn't like baby me. He wouldn't be like, he would sit down like I'm talking to you here and he'd be like, hey, you know, this is what we're going to do, why we're going to do it. And we're going to do this. And, you know, you talked about money, you talked about problems, you talked about issues. And besides that, you know, we were around guys that were politicians, attorneys, you know, big money guys that like I just surrounded myself with in the sense of because I was there. Mm-hmm. Like they weren't my people, they were his people, but, you know, his network and just learning from them, dude. Like, you know, if, you know, it's nice to just sit there because at the time you don't realize it. You don't like realize like what you're listening to, but you being in that environment, it was huge. Mm-hmm. Like
huge.
There was no days off. People always say like, you know, you don't take days off. I don't know how to take days off, dude.
Right.
I really don't. Like, even on like, you know, a weekend or whatever, like just like this weekend, dude. Like I want to go. If I'm not going forward, dude, I feel like I'm going back. Mm-hmm. Now maybe it's a little fear thing or whatever, but no, I enjoy like doing stuff. I don't like enjoy it. Like, don't get me wrong. I like to fuck off on the couch or whatever and have a day of this and that. But like, I'm balls to the wall 24/7. Some people think it's crazy, but like, that's how I'm wired. Yeah. And it's kind of sad because like my grandfather, he's 92 years old. Even to this day, dude, he will call me, how's business? What are we doing here? What's going on here? Like, it's just how his mind is.
Right.
And so for me, it was like, that's just the questions that you got to ask. And there's no other option. Like, you went home when Nana called you, said dinner is ready. Okay, you got home, you had dinner.
You had no option.
You know, like if I came home, there was no coming home early. Mm-hmm. Like there was no like if something needed to be fixed, you're gonna fix it until it's fixed. Then you're gonna have dinner. And if you got to fix it after, you fix it after. Like it is what it is. Yeah. You know, I mean, I grew up on like a 15-acre farm. So like when people, you know, I was out in Geneva, St. Charles. So 15 acres, that's a lot of land to cut grass, dude. Mm-hmm. It took me all day just to cut the grass.
Yeah.
It was just
These
me
kids
and him.
don't even cut grass anymore.
You know?
Everybody has got land. I'm not going to say I don't do it. I'm the same problem, but
like here,
my son,
we don't have grass here, dude. I barely have a fucking front yard. You know, like, but there is like, you're going to learn how to do manual work. And like I've said in the show, like he told me, you know, you don't have to do this forever, but you're going to know exactly how to do it and what to do. That way, when you have somebody doing it, you know that the job's getting done.
Absolutely.
And so for me, it was like, okay, I know I don't want to do this forever. I enjoy doing it because I'm with him. And it didn't look like for me, like people like, oh, it's like a task or a job. But like, dude, I truly enjoyed the time that I got to spend with him because he was my father figure.
Yeah.
Like he was the guy to show me how to like, this is what you do with money. This is what we do here in this problem. This is what you do with your wife. You love and respect your wife. The wife takes care of the kids. The wife takes care of you. The wife puts you number one no matter what, above everything. And that's what it is. I even have a table in my dining room that I had from Italy that is engraved that says love and respect on the bottom of it, dude, because those are his 2 words. I mean, you've met him.
I have.
You know, like he's one of those guys where like he had a stroke, you know, he's 92, but he talks so well. Like the stories that you hear, like, and it's crazy because if a guy like that can come across the country, not know the language, not have $1 in his pocket, and have all this money, all this land and success, everybody that's listening to this show can do it. I mean, you can do it. You just got to put your mind to it and stop being soft. It truly is. Because if you want to win, you're going to win in whatever that facet is. If you want to be the best musician, you want to be the best doctor, you want to be the best hockey player, football player, whatever it is, you got to outwork the guy sitting next to you no matter what. There's no options. And if when you're stopping, they're going. And so
I think that's something that all these kids kind of lost in growing up, where our parents kind of, I would say they pushed us like that, or our grandparents pushed us like that. And now we got pushed like that. And now our age group of people kind of lost that. That's what made us. And now with their kids, like, oh, I would never put my son, my daughter, this and that. I don't want to yell at them. We were yelled at all the time, but it wasn't something that we were like, oh my God, I'm getting screamed at and they're bad parents and this and that. It was teaching them something. Right. Now, if somebody yells at their kid, or say you have your kids' friends over, you say something, we could yell at our parents could yell at all our friends before. My parents used to yell at all my friends all the time. You cannot yell at somebody else's kid. They're going to call you up. You yelled at my kid? Right. I got kids that work for me. They're gone right away because my son's working like that? What do you think he's going to be doing?
Yeah, he's got to put in some time, put in some effort.
Everyone. It's
when we grew up, like the people, like there was no sleepovers. For one, there was no sleepovers. And, you know, like my grandparents only let me hang out with the people that like they knew. So like they knew, for example, like if I fucked up over there, like I would hear it.
But everyone knew each other back in the day.
Yeah.
And all the parents knew each other. Now I kind of see like where it's not like that, where we grew up.
Sure.
Because when we grew up, I mean, Norwich, Park Ridge, Wayne, all these areas, all the neighborhood areas, everyone knew everyone. So it wasn't like they always said it back in the day. You know, hey, I'm going to tell your father or mother you're outside playing still. Or get home.
Or it was like they saw you do something in public, and maybe they weren't with you, but you were in public, and somebody saw you do it. Before I even got home, there was a fucking phone call.
100%.
And they knew. Like, here's a crazy thing. Like, he would always know if I fucked up, and he would like almost like question me, like, "Oh, how was your day?" Like he'd ask, like play me to see if I was gonna lie. Like it was like they knew.
It's
and
a pretty
like,
common thing for those old school.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, how do you know this happened?
Right.
Like, who tipped you off, dude? Like, who?
They know.
You know, like I remember my grandfather. He knew a bunch of cops over there, and so he got a call one time that I was like speeding, and he's like, "Why are you speeding over here?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like,
got eyes on you, bro.
I'm like, dude, how do you know? Like.
That's that old school mentality.
It's just like it is what it is. Now, some people wouldn't bring that up, dude. I'm definitely bringing it up with my kid. Like, but even my wife and I, like, we wouldn't let my daughter hang out with people that aren't in line with us. It is what it is. Like, if she wants to go over to someone's house, like that we don't talk to or aren't aligned with, like, we won't let it happen. You know, like. It's just the way we were raised.
Let me ask you this: your grandfather, he played a huge role in your life. Do you believe he was the one that believed in you before you believed in yourself?
Oh, for sure. I was his son that he never had, dude.
And he was kind of a catalyst, would you say, in your life that kind of really put you on the right track and
yeah, even today
accelerated you.
Even today, we'll talk. Like he was there. He was the guy that I like still do. Like we're doing now, like I would sit down at a round table and we'd talk numbers and, hey, what are you going to do here? And don't get me wrong, he'd get pissed at me, like I do stuff wrong.
Sure.
And he'd be like, no, you got to do this. I'd be like, well, I want to do that. you know, like, and then I fucked up and I learned. And I'm like, okay, like, you know, I don't know everything. Like, you know, and that's a learning curve for me. You know, it happened plenty of times, you know, and like my biggest thing, just like Carlos said, was like disappointing him. Like I never wanted to disappoint him. Like, you know, I remember one time he cracked me in front of like a family party because I said something stupid and I was so embarrassed. It like wasn't even that it hurt. I was just like, fuck, dude, like I'm so fucking embarrassed in front of everyone right now.
I think that's one of the biggest things as a parent.
And I was so embarrassed to like fucking embarrass him, you know? I was like, dude, I fucked up, man.
Yeah.
Like I fucked up, you know? And you just I am okay with putting embarrassment on my kids because they need to understand that when you fuck up, like you should be embarrassed. Like that feeling of like remorse, everyone needs to feel that.
Absolutely.
If you're just it's okay. No. You fucked up. You should feel bad. Now you got to fix it. Okay. And then you're going to tell me how you're going to fix it. You're going to problem solve. I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah.
And you know, it is what it is. You know, some people like, I'm sure they probably hear me in public. I'm not screaming at my kid, but like, dude, like it's Mr. or Mrs. It's Zio or Zia. Like it is, there's no option. Like Vivi, you got to do this. Carmi, you got to do this. Okay. No, 5, 4, 3, this is what it is, buddy.
Yeah.
There's no option. You ain't pushing me around.
Right.
Because just like a dog, you got to train the animal. If you don't train the animal, or right with the tree's going crooked, dude. The tree's going to go crooked forever.
Yep.
You know?
So my father says,
I mean, how many days? I can even think of it now, dude. We used to do the grapes and stuff in the trees. Dude, it's like, I don't know, maybe it's a Dago thing to tie the tree.
Yeah.
With my fig tree, we do it, dude. You
my
know?
dad's got more tied up trees than the orchards out. And
but he was a huge catalyst, you know, he still is. Like, for me, it's like I'm living, you know, to make him happy. Not make him happy, make him proud, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I want to make my kids proud, and like that's what it is now, my wife and stuff like that. But like he's always been the guy. Now, unfortunately, I can't spend as much time as I could or used to with them, and that took when that first happened, when I first started in business, because I was just solely invested, and he got that. But it still weighs on me all the time, dude. Like I was thinking about him. I think about him all the time, dude, every day. And if it's like this conscious on your weight because you feel like, dude, like I wish I could be over there and spend more time, but I got to go to work. I got to provide. Like I got to do this, and it's just, it sucks. That's the toughest thing, you know. And you know, it's just a phone call or a FaceTime away.
Sure.
But like I like to be in person, like that. You know, I don't want like I'd rather just go in person and talk to you and hang out with you than hey, how you doing
present.
on the phone? Like
Right.
You know?
I think like a lot of the times as we grow older, we kind of lose that little inner kid in us. And a lot of people do. They don't know how to live that, like, you know, we were young boys, free-willed, doing whatever. You were doing whatever you wanted, but at the same time, there was always that your parents or people you respected in the background, you know, don't want to embarrass them, don't want to fuck it up, don't want to do something that's going to make everyone look bad. But you were a free-willed kid just going at it. And now, like a lot of the times, even like guys like just going to hang out, you could barely get guys to go even have dinner sometimes because everyone's, I got to do this, I got to do that. Man, you got to get away and have time for yourself. Everyone. Because people just lose that like inner, that young boy kind of mentality. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah. I think it's a lost art with a lot of people because everyone gets so cooped up and busy in their work or just family life, but they don't go back to what made them who they are. And if you learn to get back to that, everything kind of flows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's why we do, like, we keep all these Italian traditions, dude, from making sauce to giardiniera to eggplant to sausage, prosciutto, cabagol. Like, it's just, you know, but those are like the traditions for the family. Now the guy stuff, like, dude, I'm a firm believer. You got to be with your guys, dude. Like I gotta have, like those are the people that I'm talking to about business problems, things like that. Now, like my grandfather, yes, I'm talking to him, but like he's not gonna be here forever.
Yeah, sure.
That's one of the reasons why we started this show, dude. Because like Paul and I didn't have to start this show for you guys listening. Like I was cool with being a ghost and doing my own thing and having a crew tight. You know, I'm not much of a public guy. Anybody will tell you that. But
not many people will believe.
no, but like, you know, like when we go out, I'm loud and stuff like that, respectful. But when we're talking about business and stuff like that, the friend group is so tight because they don't understand your problems. You know, you got guys, from college or high school that, they're in a corporate job where they got golden handcuffs and they're not worried about employees not showing up. They're not worried about having to, cut the mortgage check because they got a steady paycheck.
For sure.
They don't get those problems, and so that's, for me, like talking to people, successful people, learning from their shit. It's like, dude, wow, this guy went through a lot of shit. Like, if he can do it, I can do it.
And most people go through it, their own businesses and stuff like that. They don't know what it's to hit rock bottom.
No,
it's crazy because you don't know what the next day. You could go to work, you won't have a call or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Then what?
Or sell a slice.
That's it. But
no,
anything.
you sell slices.
Yeah, but. Hey,
I hear you. I want to know. I want to jump in a little bit about like now that you were at school, you were at the Palmer College, and you graduated. You went and got your doctorate.
Yeah,
like that's how serious you were about chiropractic. And then after you graduated, did you know you were going to like what you were going to do, or did you start applying places? How did that talk to me about that transition?
Yeah. So when I got first off, when I started playing for that semi-pro team Palmer, there was a guy named Luke Stringer. And he was an England national, played for the Team England. And he came over. He was a player coach. So he was, essentially a coach that was also a player and then got paid to go to school. Mm-hmm. And he's the guy that got me on the team. And I basically was with him while he was in school. So when I was a sophomore, he was a sophomore in basically chiropractic school. And so all our time together was basically mimic. So he basically took me under his wing. And then he's the guy that was able to get me that 50% scholarship.
Nice.
And so at the time I was like, you know what, dude, like I'm a big believer in like paying it back. I'm a big believer in like, giving back or being loyal. Like if a guy helps me out, like I feel inclined to like help him out. Maybe not financially or whatever, but like I feel like he's owed something. Like he helped me. Mm-hmm. Like the least I can do is help him. And he had a practice in Chicago in the South Loop that he bought with his wife. Because remember, he graduated and I started school. Mm-hmm. So I had 4 years to go. So 4 years went on. He started to practice in the South Loop right off of Roosevelt and Wabash. And I reached out to him. I was like, hey, buddy, I literally said, like, I trust you. You helped me get here. I want to help you. Mm-hmm. Like, I want to help you, like, get your business where it is. And I did my residency there, and then I jumped on with him. And
so how does that work? You have to you gotta.
Yeah, you basically you go to school, and then you don't have to do your residency in office. I chose to do because I wanted to get out of school. So I did my residency, internship, whatever you want to call it, there in the city. And at the time, my wife had a condo in River Forest. That's where we're living. So I used to take the Green Line down from Oak Park every day. And then basically it was like an interview process. Mm-hmm. So like if I did well, he was going to hire me and ask me for a job or give me a job. And essentially I just busted my ass, dude. So I was like, what can I do for you to make your business better? Like, how can I help you and give back? And at the same time, like, I was like, okay, I also need to learn the business side of this, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I grew up in businesses, like I had a business savvy, but I didn't know this niche of business. And at that point, I basically went under his wing again. Like, we'd have lunch every day. We talk about numbers and business and how we're going to market, how you're going to, hire and fire, and these type of, like, nuances that are, like, in the day-to-day stuff. And then he hired me on, and then he hired me on in 2018, February, and I signed a contract for $40,000. That was my first job out of school.
Nice.
And I was bonused and incentivized on how much I collected. And then I think my W-2 for that year was like $100,000, but like I think I made like almost $700,000 for the guy. Wow. So he had almost a 10 times X on his return.
And think about what that did for you, just him taking you under your wing, because most people won't even do that for anyone.
Yeah, and he knew that like I wasn't going to be there forever, and I told him that, and I was like, dude, just teach me what to do. Like, I'll do it, and like I just need like a shot. Like, give me a shot. Like, I'm not going to let you down, just like I didn't let you down here before. And he gave me a shot. I mean, he worked the shit out of me, dude. Like, it was every day. Like, if I wasn't at work, at lunch, I was out. I was doing health fairs. I would do posture talks. I was going up to businesses. I go to Starbucks. I go to woman wellness events. I go to like the Chicago Marathon. I was on the medical staff. Like I'd go to all these hot chocolate run, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And again, we didn't have kids. My wife was working, so I was like, dude, I need to learn how to strategize, how to market, how to sell, how to do that stuff that was all in person, that guerrilla marketing. And then I had to learn sales. I had to learn how to close deals and go through that process, how to collect money, how to follow up with money.
Is that big with the chiropractor whole?
Not really.
Yeah, let's talk about where you learned a little bit of sales and how, let's kind of dive into that, because I know it's a big piece.
Yeah, sales is, some people look at it as like a negative word, but everything you go into is a sale. Anytime you go into a restaurant or you go into a business or, you go into fucking Walgreens, it's a sale. How they market you, where the product's at on the shelf, how close it is. You go to the grocery store, right? And so a lot of service providers, doctors, professionals, they don't know how to basically sell themselves. And so I went under his wing, and I was coached by him and a guy named Dr. Dan Bay, who's been on the show before. And they taught me everything I know. They taught me how to close deals and how to communicate with people, go through a process and build a brand. And literally, that's all I did. I left there in 2019, and at that time, I started out in Arlington Heights. And I basically took everything that I learned, plus what I had before in the bag, and I said, okay, I'm going to take this luxury vibe from the city that everyone wants, and I'm going to bring it to the suburbs. And I just did it. I put my own spin on it, though, and I put the spin on it that I wanted, because when I was working for somebody, I couldn't do like the branding and things that I wanted to do. It's not my business. It's theirs. They're telling me what to do, and I respected that. And at that point, dude, I just consistently just grew, and we started from nothing, dude. I mean, I took over an existing practice that was basically dying. The guy that was, he wanted to get out of there. He had some patient flow, but it was nothing. It was like your classic old doctor's office dude with like the glass window, the little siding sheet, the walls were all brown, dude. Like
carpeting,
dude. Carpeting. Yeah, like every room was like a shut door. Like it was just like not inviting. And like you go now, dude, it's like it's a vibe. Like, and so the reason why I wanted, my business expresses who I am in a sense, per se, Forza, which means force in Italian, luxury, high-end healthcare. So I wanted it to represent who I am and have a brand standard. That way, again, it's a sellable thing. It's not Voelsch Chiropractic or Dr. Drew's Chiropractic. Like, it's a brand, like Pizza Boy, right? Yeah. Like, people believe in your brand, people support your brand, and people are brand loyal. And we have people that drive from all over the place, right? Just like you. They'll drive a fucking hour, and I'll be like, dude, I can't believe this fucking guy's driving an hour for me. Yeah. Like, and it's like, when that happens, you're like, wow, like, dude, I'm doing something right. You know, Absolutely. And like, not to pump yourself up or whatever, be egotistical, but you're like, dude, obviously this shit's working. You have
to be a little bit to do it.
Yeah.
You know, like, obviously this shit's working, you know, like, and if you're struggling with sales and branding, like, you have to invest in your business. Every dollar that I made in the beginning, I invested in my business and gave it back. Like, even now, and reinvested in the brand, because the brand is what makes you money.
For sure.
So, and people want you to stay up to date with things. They want to walk into, like, if I went to Pizza Boy and it was like just dead, and like, I'd be like, fuck this place, I ain't coming back. Yeah. Like, you know, it's just, you go anywhere.
But that says who and you are and what you do. When you take things, like I've always said this, I will watch things on social media or talk to people that have been in the business for my business, and I don't copy a soul, but I will take that little 1% of what you show me or I see, and then I'll put my take on it. I'm not gonna. I don't copy anyone. I don't want to be like anyone. I want to be who I am. When you did your office, you made it who you are, what you built, what you're about, everything from family to lifestyle to just what people perceive when they come to you and how they understand, well, wow, when I go there, I feel like $1 million. That's what you want. You want them leaving like you just got, the 5-star hotel experience, right?
Yeah. And besides doing it for the clients, like, I did it for myself, dude, because just like you're there all the time.
And does it make it? It makes your day go by, because I got a 70-inch TV in my kitchen. They're like, you got TV up there? Yeah, I'm here all day. Yeah. I want to watch the games too.
And besides that, like, the staff likes it, dude. Like, like, I treat it like my house, dude. Like, it's clean. Like, I want it to be a vibe where, like, it's a family environment, but also like a high-end place. And I'm there all day.
Yeah.
So I don't want a shitbox that I'm standing and be like, oh, fuck this, dude. Like, I got to go to work. No, I want the staff that works here. I want them to enjoy where they work, be proud of it, and then also I want to be able to sit on the couch, watch TV if I had time or whatever, or just enjoy it, dude. Like, we have a surround sound stereo in the outside, inside of the building where we're playing music, like
jamming.
we got Wi-Fi that goes outside, so if you want to sit outside or whatever, like you could sit outside, like just.
So you were working in the city at one point. You were working at Dr. Luke Stringer's place, right downtown. Now, were you taking the train? Were you driving down there? How was your commute every single day?
I started on the train, dude. Taking the Green Line from Oak Park. I would leave in the morning with all the commuters, and then I'd come home at 6,
Where, on
7.
Harlem?
Yeah, right on Harlem and Lake. And it was rough, dude.
Yeah, it's not too friendly over there.
It's like, it doesn't matter if you take the train from there, you drive. It's the same fucking time. It's an hour, even from Harlem, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
On the train?
Dude, on the train, because there's so many stops.
Yeah.
And I wasn't the last stop, but you're on Roosevelt and Wabash, and then there's so many stops. The problem is coming home. Oak Park's the last stop right there, so like you have to stop everywhere. It's terrible.
And if you're driving, it's even 20 times worse.
The problem is too, like if you're driving,
Traffic.
you got to pay big money for a parking spot. I was making $40,000 then, dude. So like, every dollar was
prime real estate.
In 2018, that was big money. Now it's chump change.
Yeah, and I read somewhere that Chicago traffic right now is kind of topped the New York traffic, Philadelphia traffic. I think California.
No, LA. I think LA or whatever was the worst.
It's brutal. It's brutal.
I went to the city last weekend, dude. I won't even drive. I just say to the driver, just take the Uber or take the limo guy. I mean, it took us literally to go to that concert this weekend. It took us an hour and a half. I mean, at fucking 6 o'clock at night.
And that
from here.
And how'd you go there? From the 90?
The 290.
Oh, and that's crazy because the 90, they just finally opened it up a little bit. You couldn't go to the city in less than 2 hours. Yeah. It's
coming
ridiculous.
back, dude. We flew. Coming back, we flew home.
I wouldn't even take orders. Like we get some city orders where people order big catering.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even take an order. I'm like, listen, I cannot. I'd love to come and do this order. By the time I get there, the food's gonna be cold.
It ain't worth it.
It's not. Yeah, it's not
worth it.
No.
So
I'm glad I got out. I got out, like I said, in 2019. I was planning it, kind of prepping it at the end of 2018. Like I said, I wanted to get out.
Yeah.
And then I got out, dude. I got out, and it was kind of like a bittersweet. Like, he was upset, but he knew they had to go.
He was coming,
yeah,
right,
and it
You
is
guys
what
still
it is.
talk?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
good.
I just referred him a patient the other day, and he's one of those guys where, like, I reached his level of like success per se with like patient volume and net income, and I was like, dude, I gotta figure out what I gotta do now.
Yeah. So you moved over to, and you bought your own practice. At the time, it was called
Hawkeye. It was a dying practice, dude. It was in the dumps. Like it was. I wouldn't even call it like buying a practice. Like, I mean, it was buying, but it was like
it's a building.
Yeah, it was just you were buying the assets. Truly, I mean, there wasn't any big cash flow. Like, it wasn't like a restaurant. You're like, okay, like this thing is popping. Like, no, it was like we could barely get people in the door at the time, you know.
Right.
And so, the guy wanted out.
Yeah.
And I just was like, all right, well, it's a good location. It's in a good affluent area. My wife and I don't know like where we want to go because
were you guys married already?
So I purchased it in 2019. That's a story in itself, and it was in March. The Ides of March.
Well,
I bought
elaborate,
it.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. So yeah, I was planning on. I got engaged to my wife in 18, right when I got done with school. So as soon as I graduated, I got engaged with her, and we wanted to have like a year and a half engagement. So we got married in August of 2019, and at the time, before I went to go purchase a practice and start my own business, I told my wife, I said, hey, I'm not happy here. Like, I'm getting overworked, underpaid. Like, I can do this. I can do this, just like you. Like, you're like, dude, like, I want to do this other stuff. They're not letting me do it, and I'm working like a dog, making all this money for somebody else. I love the guy, but like, I want to do it. Like, let me loose.
Yep. And
my wife wasn't. She was like, "Oh, we're planning for a wedding. We're saving money." I was like, "Fuck that, dude. Like, I'll figure it out. Like, I will figure it out no matter what."
This guy's like Will Ferrell and the other guys? I'm a peacock. Let me fly.
Yeah. Like, and she was like, she wasn't on board, dude. She was like, no. Like, no, like, what if this thing goes south? And I was like, it's got to be better than what I'm doing now.
For sure.
Like, if I'm doing this now, there's no way I can fail. Like, there's absolutely zero way, dude. Like, what I'm doing now and I can do it, all I got to do
without a complaint?
Yeah. Like, just let me do it.
Yeah.
And so at that time, now, I'm trying to pack away cash, dude, in 2018 so that I can put down money or start a practice. And again, we got married in 2019. So I'm packing away money. I think I had like 40 grand packed away in 2018. Now we were living like, dude, like peasants. Like we weren't going out. Like we were going to like, my wife was just
pay for a wedding.
Yeah, dude. Like, and it was that's the grind, dude. Like those are like the stories that like with my wife that like we look back and we're like, dude, that like made us. Like we had to do that. And I love that, dude, because like, and when I hear those stories, I'm like, bro, like keep going. Like you're going, like you're good. Like we all went through it. And, so I'm looking at where I want to practice, right? And I find this location, and the purchase price was $300 grand. And so the bank's like, okay, you need $50,000 down, and you need another cosigner because you have no assets. Now I just got out of school. I'm 300 in the hole. I don't have a house. I have a broken down used Orkin truck with roll up windows, dude, a bench seat, like. You know, it was completely shot. I have no assets. The bank's looking at me like, dude, this kid's got nothing. Like, we can't reclaim our money if something goes south.
It's crazy how all success stories are always like this. Even though there's so many that are not, you're always at the bottom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You bet on yourself.
You got roll up windows. Like
yeah. And, you know, my wife still today, dude, she still loves that fucking truck, dude. Like, it's like, it's just...
The memories.
And so I was like, okay, well, we're paying for this wedding. I got $40,000. Like, we need another, like, $10,000 or $15,000 for, like, closing fees. And I was like, I don't have the fucking money. Like, I don't know where the fuck I'm going to get the money. Like, my wife's like, well, let's ask her mother. Like, you know, my mother-in-law was like, I don't have it. I'm like, fuck, I hate asking for money, dude. I was never the guy to, like, ask for money. Like, I just never did. I could
get money just for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I could have asked my grandparents at the time, but I was in a little bit of a tiff with my grandfather at the time because what happened was I wasn't spending as much time with them. So remember what I told you guys before, like I was with them all the time. I lived there.
Yeah.
So me not being able to go there because they had to work and provide, like I chose my wife. I started putting my wife, because we were engaged above. And that gave us a little bit of a tiff. Now I could have, wasn't like we weren't speaking, but even then, like he would, I could have asked him for money, but he would have told me the same thing. He would have said, I'm not going to give you money. You got to figure it out because that's what I did. Yeah. So what we did was my wife took a home equity line of credit on her house for $20,000. So now I got $60,000 and we're not married. I still need to have a co-signer. My wife was like, she was kind of hesitant, need to co-sign. Then she was like, I'll co-sign. I was like, okay, cool. And then the bank's like, well, she doesn't have enough assets to if, she just had the condo, And so I'm like, fuck, dude, like, who do I ask? And I'm like, at the time, I'm starting to talk to my parents again. And I was like, let me ask my parents. Like, let me just see if they'll do the one thing for me. Now, I asked my parents, I said, hey, I'm not happy where I'm at. I want to start my business. This is the plan. I had it all dialed up, a business plan, took it to the bank. I got the money. I don't need any money. I'm just asking you to co-sign so that they can give me leverage here so that they can make the loan go through. So they said, oh, yeah, no problem. I'm like, wow. They said yes. Like, holy shit, dude. Like, now we haven't spoken in a while. Like, it is what it is. And now 2 weeks before the closing, I got all the paperwork. The attorneys sent it all. I gave them, the down payment for the escrow to start the loan so they can lock in the rate. And I get a call from an attorney. And I don't remember the guy's name, but he says, hey, are you Dr. Drew Voelsch? I said, yes. I said, I'm calling on behalf of Chip and Laura Voelsch, which are my parents. And I'm like, okay, like, what's going on? Is everything okay? I'm sure it's regarding, like, the bank loan. Like, and they said, yeah, definitely. I'm representing them. I said, okay, what are you representing them in? Like, do you need me to sign anything for the bank? I thought they were working with the bank. And they said, no, I'm representing them against you. And I have a contract here saying that if anything goes south on this deal or the business, they're not liable. And I'm like, wait, you have a contract for what? Like, my parents want me to sign a contract saying that, like, they're not liable if anything goes south, and that I have to send them the bank statements on the 15th of the month, and I got to send them the profit and loss with the QuickBooks. And I'm like, hold on here. So I hung up the phone. I called my mom, and I'm like, Mom, what the fuck is this? Like, who is it? Like, am I missing something here? Like, what's the thing? And they're like, no, like, we feel more comfortable if you sign this contract. That way we're not liable for anything. I'm like, the one thing I fucking asked, dude, I asked for one thing, like, just you to co-sign. I'm not asking for money. Like, I told you what I'm going to do. You see the numbers. And from then, it even made the situation with my parents worse. So I talked to my wife. I'm like, what are we going to do? Because we got nothing. Like, we have zero. And, like, you don't, even if you co-sign, you just have the condo. Like, and she had no equity in it because we just took out $20,000. She wasn't on board with them signing. And I was like, babe, we got to do this. And I said, this is what we're going to do. I said, first thing we're going to do is pay off your home equity line of credit. And then once we do that, we're going to pay down the loan as much as we can to refi it. So if it took me, I think it took me 10 months to pay off the business loan so I can take my parents off it. I paid off my wife's loan in 2 months. And from there, I didn't talk to my parents from when I saw them at the closing date, and I could vividly remember them sitting across. I sent them profit and loss statements. Like, my dad would send me a text, be like, oh, it must have been a good month. I didn't respond. Or if we were like, my wife didn't send the P&L on the 15th, she sent on the 16th, hey, I need to get this. And it would irk the fuck out of my wife, dude. And it's one of those things that, like, you know, you can't come back from. You know, it's just, I would never do that to my kid. For whatever the reason is they're being, again, the way my parents' marriage is, it's not how I run my marriage. It's not how I was raised by my grandfather. Like, it is what it is. I didn't talk to them, dude, until earlier this year. And the only reason why I talked to them is because my wife wanted to have grandparents involved in my kids' lives, or else, dude, I would have wrote off the fucking world, like, you know.
For sure.
And they still have that contract, and it's one of those things that, like, you take to heart. And then from there, dude, it was just game on. I used that fire and energy that, you know, they gave me for that frustration, and just basically, like, stuck it to them with a few other people that helped me with that frustration, motivation. And I was against all odds, but I had no option. Like, there was zero options, you know. I mean, I remember the problem is like, when there's zero options, it's a fuck you mentality, and it's all or nothing. Like, I just put the head down. Like, I didn't, not that I wasn't going out with the boys or whatever, but I had no time to fuck off. Like, my main goal was to take care of my wife.
For sure.
And that was it. Because at the time, you know, my in-laws were divorced. You know, I was blackballed from my wife's side. I was blackballed from the guys I grew up with. And it was us, dude. I remember sitting in her condo, and she's crying to me like, we have no friends. Like, we have no, and I said, babe, they were never our friends. Like, there's, like, if they are going to choose sides over something that has nothing to do with us, like, fuck it, dude. Like, we'll do it. And you know, at the time, like, it was tough on my wife. Like, for me, I grew up like, you know, you're going to fucking keep going. My wife's a little softer, a little emotional, obviously. So for me to, like, write off something, it's not hard for me. Like, if a guy's, like, if you got my trust, you got my trust for life. But as soon as you fuck up, that's it, dude.
That's it.
And, you know,
I thought you died yesterday.
Yeah. And and that's not just with family, dude. That's with friends. But, like, I have no problem. Like, I have no problem with not talking to somebody, because not that it's not going to benefit me. Like, the people that are in my life are in my life for a reason. If you're invited to my kid's birthday party, or you're invited to my house, like, you're there because I value as a friend or a family member. I don't have time to waste. I don't have time to fuck off. And so a lot of people will see me, like, on the opposite side of, like, not in office, like, not as a provider, but as on, like, a quieter side, because, like, if I don't really associate with those people, like, even in the neighborhood here, like, if you're a W-2 and I can't talk to you about, like, business or stuff like that, like, you're just saying, hey, how's your day? How, you know, your grass looks good. Like, bro, I don't care. Like, and it's just because I'm a business owner, and because I'm so focused in having to pay the bills, and there's no option. There's no fallback. Okay. Just like Carl, like, when I was out, dude, I was out. Like, I was gone. And, like, for me, it was like, I paid for my wedding. My father-in-law didn't pay for my wedding. I paid for my wife's ring. My wife and I paid for our business. My wife and I paid for this house. My wife and I paid for the building that we're in. My wife and I paid for the 2 properties that we're in. My wife and I paid for my mother-in-law that was sick. My wife and I, my brother-in-law Vince, and my sister-in-law Lisa Marie, and Richie Pineacker took care of my mother-in-law. We did all that stuff. Right. And we didn't make a fucking excuse.
And it says a lot about who you are. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I have a very similar story. And you just keep going. Yeah. You just keep going. You don't have that
safety net.
Yeah. You don't have, you know, you can rely on one hand.
Let me ask you this. Do you think your parents knew that would kind of tick you off and light a fire underneath you by doing what they did?
I don't know, dude. Like, my parents, They're just.
Do you
like,
think
I don't
that
even like to like? Not that I don't get to talk to them. But I talk about it, but like you know, they just. It's. I don't know if they did or not. Like they're terrible with money. They're terrible with like running a business. Like their relationship. You know, it's rocky. Like my mom was one of those girls, those, you know, old school Italians, like, I'm not going to get divorced. Like, I'm going to stick with you. I respect that. Like, if you want that for yourself, Ma, no problem. But I'm not going to be in this situation. I'm just not going to accept, you know, the stuff that's going on. You know, like, I'm not going to watch you get beat. I'm not going to watch you get cheated. I'm not going to do, like, if you want that life, I've told you. That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't want to be around it. I want my kids around it, whatever. Now, that was more a long time ago. Now, again, like I said, I didn't talk to my parents from 2019 till 2025. So, like, you know, we wouldn't see them, bro. Like, the stuff that they said, like, for me, the way I grew up, like, you can't come back from that. And whether they think that they lit a fire under my ass or they didn't, it doesn't really bother me.
Sure.
You know, because either way, if it wasn't them, there was another guy that fucking lit me a fire.
For
you know?
sure.
So it wasn't just that one fire that put me, you know, on blast.
The one thing that I got to say to that, because I've dealt with almost all that, but you are who you are because of that.
Oh, 100%.
And regardless of people, you know, people come up to me, oh man, you dealt with a lot of stuff. I go, dude, you have no idea how much I've dealt with. But at the end of the day, I am who I am. I would not go back in time to change what happened to me because I wouldn't be who I am today because of that.
Yeah.
So I embrace that. I love that about my story, to be honest with you. You should enjoy, and not enjoy it, but like, you should accept it. Like most people, I got people I know that they're like the black sheep, this and that in the family or whatever. Embrace it instead of use it as like, oh, poor me. Embrace it. Take it to where you want to go with it. That's fuel to the fire to getting where you want to get ahead in life, or do whatever you want. You don't want to, you know, your parents were like this, your friends are like that, this and that. Well, use that experience to what you don't want to become.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm a big believer in that.
It molds and shape you into who you are today.
It's so tough for me, dude, because like I see guys that like whether they make an excuse or like they're jealous of what I have, and like, you know, it's like, and I don't flaunt it, dude. Like I drive a truck. Like, don't get me wrong, I got a nice car and like I could buy whatever I want, but like, you know, I have no sympathy for the guys that don't get up and go to work. I truly don't. If you listen to this, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I really have no pity. Like, I have empathy on people that are in situations that'll help, and I have no problem with giving a helping hand, but I do not have pity for the guy that's taking the train, the 9 to 5, that's just saying, oh, fuck me, or all this, or complaining, because, dude, like, you can do it. Anybody can do it. If I can do it, if my grandfather could do it, if Carlo can do it, if Paulo can do it, like, you can do it. So to me, it's like, I almost like phase auto-tune these people out. And so like, even now, like, people will be like, oh, you know, like, you don't talk to this guy's kind of quiet. Dude, it's because I'm not going to give my energy, okay? Like, I forgot the line that Taylor Swift said, dude, but she said this line, and we talked about it, like my energy costs money, and in order for you to take my energy, like, it's worth a lot of time and money. So, like, I'm not going to give you that vibe, you know? And shout out to Shauna Martin, because she's the one that put us on that. But even now, like, it just... but I'm one of those guys that text you on your birthday. Like, I texted a guy today, Chris Ross, shout out to him. And he's a guy that, like, I
Happy birthday.
With. Yeah.
I want to ask you about who helped you out at the clinic when you kind of first started, right? Because I know that was a big stepping stone for you. Can you talk a little bit about, you know, how that clinic kind of got started?
Yeah, so when I took over the clinic, there was no transfer of, like, doctor or employees because it was like a dying clinic. Yeah. So when I first took it over, I had on the paperwork, I had that my mother-in-law, Carla, she was going to help me at the clinic. And so the issue is that when my mom and dad making me co-sign, they said, oh, we don't want Carla to be on the staff because we see how much money you can make, and, you know, you're not married, and, you know, they're going to take advantage of you. And it started a complete uproar. And so they made me sign the document saying that I couldn't have her. So in the document, like, I would show all the stuff to them, and I, you know, would release them of any legal damages if this thing went south. It said that she couldn't work there. So I was like, what the fuck? I got to find somebody. So my wife was still working, because she's like, well, we need a steady paycheck in case shit goes south. We need insurance. I was like, don't worry about it. We'll find somebody. Now I found somebody, you know, she lasted for maybe a month, and then she just, there was a key and a note on my desk when I came in on Monday. I'm like, fuck me. So I called my wife and was like, hey, this person left. Like, I need you to leave work and come help. Like, I got the phones ringing. Like, you know, I'm in the thick of it. So she called her mom, and I was like, fuck it, dude. I don't even talk to my parents anyways. Like, they're not going to know. And even if they fucking know, what the fuck are they going to do? Yeah. So she started working with me, dude. And ever since then, man, she was my office manager. And she was like, she trained people. She was the vibe. And she put the systems in place, just like we were talking about with AJ on the last show. And that was it, dude. And without her, dude, like, I couldn't do my job. And I couldn't get the business to where it needed to be. So, like, I owed her, and I owed my wife when she got sick to take care of her. And I take a lot of pride with that because a lot of people that should have stepped up didn't step up. And I'm not even blood, you know? And it was one of those things where it was like, dude, like, just like with Luke, Dr. Luke Stringer, like, I felt like I was, like, I had to. Like, it was in my conscience, like, if I didn't do this, like, I'm a fucking jag-off, you know? Like, I need to take care of the people that helped me. And so that's why, like, I'm a super like old school guy in the sense of like staying rooted in like the people that take care of you, you know, like just being like a level-headed guy, like in the trenches. And she was everything, dude. She helped me get from where the clinic's at to where it's at now. And then she got sick in 2022, and she passed December 22nd of 2023. So she made it a year and a half with cancer, and the whole time was, and we can get into it, was a crazy time, dude, with like my wife and family relationships and just basically being on an island. But without her, dude, I'm nothing. Just like my wife too. I mean, if my wife wasn't taking care of the stuff, like, I mean, I'd be at work just like you, dude, for like 12, 14-hour days, like having to do everything because I couldn't afford to hire people. Yeah. Like, it is what it is. Like, and people don't want to do that. And if I wasn't raised the way I was, like, I couldn't do it. But the one thing is that she was the only person in my life at that time, besides my grandfather, my wife, that was like, Drew, like, you can do it. Like, no matter what, like, you can do it. Like, don't worry about the stuff with Ari. Like, you can do it. Like, I got you. Like, I'll stay late. Like, I'll vacuum. Like, she was cleaning the toilets, dude. Like, the stuff that she had to do, dude, like, it's just, I look back now, I could, like, even visualize her, like, and see her, like, when I came out of my office, like, her off, like, even her desk now, like, nobody's in her desk. I've left her desk there with, like, her picture there. So, like, every time I walk past it, like, that's her desk. And it'll be 2 years this year. And it's one of those things where, like, you know, without her, dude, like, when we first started, dude, we would build IKEA furniture. Like, the stuff that, like, you guys doing now, business owners coming out of school or, like, just starting, like, that's the stuff that we did, and I'm super appreciative to that. But yeah, that's Carla. She's the best, dude. Without her, you know, I'd be nothing. God bless.
Yeah.
I'm
sure it was pretty tough losing her.
Yeah.
How did it kind of affect you going forward? Can we talk about that? Like,
yeah, you want to talk about on the family side? You want to talk about on like the wife side, the personal side? Like, what do you want to talk about? In what sense?
Well, I'm sure she's missed. I mean, I want to talk about a business side. Like, how did you kind of come together? I guess as a man, totally. Like, how did you just kind of figure it out and keep moving forward?
Yeah, she died. I went to work that day. I gave her a kiss the night before I went to bed. She lived with us in the house here, and I gave her a kiss goodnight. And at the time, I was getting up and going to work early, so I got to work at almost 5, 6 a.m. And then I got a call from my wife at like 9 o'clock that said that her mom didn't make it. And then I said, okay, let me finish up at work and come home, because it didn't matter if I came home now or if I came home like, you know, in 2 hours. And kind of that was that. And that was the 22nd. So it was weird because the 23rd, I went into work. I did. No shame about it, because she would have told me to go into work. She would have, Drew, I'm done. Like, keep going on. And yeah, it was tough, dude. Like, my mother-in-law was one of those ladies where, like, she did everything for her family. And, you know, my father-in-law just wasn't that guy. Like, he would choose his immediate family over his own kids and his wife. And that was the relationship, you know, which was different than mine. What the love that she had for me was the same love that my grandfather has for me. And I told her this before she died. I said, I love you more than I love my own mother. It's a true statement. you know?
Yeah.
And it is what it is. The stuff that she did that my mother wasn't there for, like, didn't raise me. Like, I love my mom. Don't get me wrong, dude. But, like, you know, like, my mom wasn't there when shit went south when I needed you. And I'm not blaming her. Like, I got no remorse about it. I got nothing on my conscience. Like, I've forgiven. I haven't forgotten. But, and that was it. And when she did die, now you got to remember, when she got sick, so the story of when she got sick, so the whole time leading up to her getting sick in 21, she was having like GI problems. She was having like gastrointestinal. She couldn't go to the bathroom all the way. She felt like she was just like all clogged up. And this was in the beginning of 21. And at the time, remember, we're just still like in COVID. So there was no like elective surgeries or like elective procedures. So like if you wanted to get an MRI, like it had to be for like an emergency or something like this. And so she was due for a colonoscopy. So later in 21, she got a colonoscopy, completely normal. And then she went to her OBGYN and said, hey, like this is the situation. You know, I'm not feeling like I can clear out all the way. So the gyno did the exam. She felt like she felt something inside. So then she sent her out for a CAT scan. Now in my office, I signed off as one of the providers on that CAT scan. So I was the first one to get the films. I actually got a fax the day after July 4th. So it was July 5th. And whatever day that was in 2022, and it said stage 4 cancer, and the diameter of it was like 4 centimeters by 5 centimeters. It was like this massive block in her, and I'm reading it like double checking the name. Like I'm like sitting here, I'm like, no, this can't be right.
Especially you're getting the first shot at it.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
You know, this can't be right. Like there's no way. So I'm like, I'm calling. It was this company called Bright Light Medical. And I'm calling them and say, hey, I just want to make sure that this is the correct file and chart that I have. They didn't know that she was my mother-in-law. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, fuck me. What do I got to do here? But before that, I'm sitting here and I'm like, how did I miss this? In my head before I call my mother, I'm like sitting here like, dude, like I took an x-ray on you. Like, what did I do? Like, how did I fuck this up? Like, I'm with you every day. You know, like I spent more time with her than she did her own kids from 2019 till when she passed. So I'm like, did I fuck this up? That was the first thing in my head. And then after that, I called her. I said, hey, Ma, like I just got your results back. They say you have a tumor that's, 4.5 centimeters by 5 centimeters. It's in this location. That's why they're saying it's touching, it's in between your uterus and your colon, and that's why there's a blockage there. That's why they didn't see it on the colonoscopy. And they said they're saying that it's in stage 4. It's not only in your cervix, but it's metastasized to your liver. It's on your spine. And they recommend that we seek an oncologist. And I'm sitting here like, I have no clue, like, what to tell like anyone. And she was like, it's okay, Drew. Like she was like, I knew it had to be something, and then I remember after that call, we all jumped on a conference call. I was heading home. I was on the 90 going west, getting on the 290 going eastbound, and like I realized like the severity of it. Like I realized like hearing it, because we see it all day and constantly. It's like a norm, unfortunately. And like my wife was like, oh, like, like shouldn't be fine, like this and that. I'm like you guys don't understand. Like she's in stage 4. It's metastasized, which means it's traveled across the body to different locations. So you can't localize it to one region. And it's the worst cancer you could get. It's a sarcoma. She had a leiomyosarcoma. So leiomyo means tissue. Sarcoma is the style of cancer. You can have an osteosarcoma, which is like a bone cancer, or a tissue cancer, specific types of cancers. And from there, they were shocked. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't be shocked. I had to still get up and go to work. And I was shocked, but I was like, fuck. That's when I lost her as far as in the clinic. So it was like July of 22 when I lost her in the clinic, and I had, I still had staff there. I had another girl named Kayla Presley at the time. She's now Kayla Lincolnheld. She still works for me. A couple other staff members that works for me, but it was a big load. It was a big shift because when she didn't come back to work on Monday, people were like, "Well, where's Carla?" So I'm like, I don't know what to tell. I don't know what to say, people. Face. Yeah.
for it.
When you walk in, she'd say hello. She'd check you out. She would collect. Like if she was like she was part of the brand. She was on brand, and so that's when we lost her. So the hardest part for me was like having to tell everybody that like she's sick, because then I'm like reliving the frustration and like anxiety in my head constantly. Yeah. And we eventually did just tell people, but from there, dude, we seek treatment. We would drive, because she lived in the Hoffman Estates. So at the time I was still in River Forest, dude. So I would drive from my house in River Forest to Hoffman, pick her up, and then I drive her all the way down to Rush, so she would do treatment, and then from Rush take her all the way back to Hoffman, and then go to work like on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and then on like Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays, like my wife would do that, and then eventually it was like my wife was just staying there. So then at the time, like my wife was just living with her mother, taking care of her, because her other two siblings had to work, and then I would go back to the condo. Now, my daughter Viviana was born October 6th of 2020, so she wasn't even a year old. So my wife's got a brand new newborn, dude. I'm going through it like, she's driving her here, she's breastfeeding, she's going here. Like the anxiety on my wife was just crazy. So the anxiety on like our marriage was like just out the roof. Like I was, she'll tell you like, she forgot my birthday. And, like it is what it is, because there's so much stress that you're going in your head. And, I knew that my relationship with my wife was going to be put on the back burner. Like, and I was cool with that and accepted that, because like her mother is like the most important thing to both of us. And so that's what we did, man. We took care of her, and she was ready to go, dude. She made her peace. I mean, we spent a lot of time. I mean, every day I was with her. It's just the hardest part, I think, for my brother-in-law and then my sister-in-law and me and my wife to like go through, is to see somebody that had so much strength and like love and so much energy, and it just like slowly be like sucked out of a person. She was ready to go, dude. She had no regrets. She was an amazing person. She lived her life to the fullest. Unfortunately, she was taken away early from us. But that's God's plan, man. And that's one of those things where you have a scar on yourself. And every day, like she's got her urn is in our house, big picture of her, like, at the clinic on my office, a picture of her. So every time I see her, like, I talk to her and things like that. But yeah, I mean, it's weird because like at the time you're going through the frustration, you don't really have time to like mourn when somebody's sick, because you're like, fuck this, like we'll mourn like after like she passes, because if you mourn during, it's like
makes it worse.
Yeah, it makes it worse, and you're not there for the person, and it's difficult to do. Yeah, I don't know if you guys had anyone that has been sick, but when you see them, you're like, I can't worry about this now. Like when they die, like we'll mourn. Like let's just enjoy it now. Let's just fucking ride.
Yeah, thankfully I haven't had a situation like that. But I can't imagine the stress it put on the relationship, the stress it put on you for the business. I mean, it sounds like your wife stepped up quite a bit to help your mom out, help you out.
A lot of I got a shout out to all the girls at work, dude. Like they were, they helped me quite a bit. Now, granted, like no matter what, like I still put on a face, like I had to.
Show goes on.
The new person coming in had no clue of my situation, and that's what I had to do, and that's what she wanted me to do. But so I got to shout out to those people that were there for us, and specifically my staff. You guys know who you're watching this, who was there, and they were huge, dude. You guys were huge, just keeping me going every day when shit was south.
Yeah. And most people don't really understand how it doesn't go unnoticed, because you think about it still to this day, who was there when you were down and everyone else. I personally had very similar situation. My father-in-law passed. He had lung cancer, all this stuff. My mother-in-law was exactly the same thing to me. She's still with us. I love her to death. She's like my mom. I mean, she takes care of me like my mom, or better. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. But my father-in-law, he passed. It was rough for the whole family. It was very similar, same situation. A guy full of life, was going out all the time. Him and I really didn't see eye to eye. But, you see what it does to the family and everyone else. ironically, right before he had passed, my wife had found him at her house, literally, which is down the block from where he was living. And she went over there to go check on him, and I was at work. She just left work, or she was just came to see us with the kids, whatever. She dropped off, and he was supposed to watch football with his buddy, and he was on the ground, and it was just not good. But, you know, you never forget who was there when all these things go down and all that stuff. It's sad times, but
yeah, I feel like those the last 6 years of my life, there's a lot that have happened. You know, I would say from when I was a kid till like then, it was like, okay, there's a lot of stuff that happened, but like those 6 years were like the most, or have been the most important years of my life, and just catalyzing like who I am. And, you know, like that's why, like, you know, when you have family members that don't take care of like their mother or whatever, you know, like, and you take care of like your mother-in-law that you're not even blood with, like it infuriates you. And so you become callous. And some people will get, you know, like they don't understand that like fuck you mentality that you have towards those people, but like they don't understand the situation that you were in. And
I'm going to stop you real quick right there, because as much as you say that, I preach this to plenty of people. You come off like you're like, fuck you, but this guy's got a heart of gold. And I kind of relate to you a lot with it, because I've dealt with basically a lot of this that you've gone through. To be honest with you, it's almost like it's kind of scary to listen to it now, because I've like literally lived this life, and I'm older, and just, you know, like when we did our podcast, when I was in your seat, and you know, you're sitting there and you're dealing with people, and they're like, "Oh, you don't want to give anybody that doesn't have the same mentality as you as, you know, a shot, and because they're losers and winners and this and that." Dude, you have no idea how many opportunities we've given to anyone, because it's just, you hear some stupid thing on the internet, but the reality is, even though we want to say fuck you to anyone, we're still here for everyone. And that's what, as a business owner, you're there for how many people?
everybody.
Every day you're sitting there. You gotta deal with their problems, your problems. You don't even have time to deal with your own problems. Look at it. And you have to go show face every single day. And that's without bringing that problem to work. Because once you get in the door's, what's out there is out there. What's here is here.
If you let it affect work, you're fucked.
You're done.
Yeah.
I will say that myself. I mean,
I agree. Let me ask you, do you think your mother-in-law would be proud of you of the being the business owner that you are?
For sure, dude. She told me for sure. I mean,
I'm proud of you.
She said, appreciate that, bro. Yeah, I mean, I remember her last words, like when I actually had a full conversation, because the last couple of days she was almost like kind of not cognizant. Like I remember she slept in my bed, because at the time we tried buying her like one of those Sleep Number beds. And the Sleep Number, there was like a fucking delay or something like that, dude, or whatever. And we ended up getting her a Sleep Number, but she was more comfortable in my bed, so then I slept in her bed. And she was like, she told me, she's like, the most important thing is my wife, and just taking care, or her daughter Ariana is just taking care of her. And it was almost like I knew at that time, like she knew that she was going to go soon. Mm-hmm. Like she was like, Drew, like I want to talk to you before you go to work. Like she was always like, hey, you're going to have a great day. Like she was always positive, dude, even with like this shit that she was going through. And like, you know, I even if you had a light of positivity like that was like the flame that I needed, you know? Yeah. And it just, you know, she's definitely proud of me, dude. Like you got to remember, like we built everything together. Like she saw us from when we had that used Orkin truck to when we were doing all this business. So, I mean, she was with me in this house.
Yeah.
And with my wife, and like she designed every part of this house. Mm. Like she walked in when there was no walls, when it was just, you know, 2x4s.
Right.
So like we have that, like she is in this house with us. She died in this house. She lived with us in this house. And so from where we're at to, you know, because you got to remember, I've known my wife since I was 19, 20. That's when we started getting together. I met my wife, I was 16, she was 14, but we didn't get together for a few years later. So my mother-in-law's known me, like literally, I'm going to be 34. So she's seen me and she's seen like the struggles with my parents and things like that. Like she's seen like, my friends blackball me for choosing families, like all that stuff. So like for her, just like my grandfather tell me like they're proud of me, like that's, and I didn't need that. She didn't have to tell me, but I could tell that she was proud. You know what I'm saying? It was like I knew that what I was doing, and I never, ever wanted her to thank me or whatever. I did out of love and respect for my wife. Yeah. But she always did. She would say, she said, Drew, thank you for taking care of me. Thank you for doing this for me. I appreciate you. It was one of the last words she ever said. I could like see her. I'm looking in the camera right now. And it's just wild. And her brother, Frankie, came over, a couple days before, and it was one of those things. And you know what? Like she was ready to go. Not to keep talking about her. She's awesome, but she was ready to go. She, we teed and crossed every I and whatever you call it, all that shit.
Cross every T, dotted every I.
She's in a better place now.
Yeah,
no more suffering.
No, I'm going to ask a couple questions and keep these a little shorter because I want to transition into something. Do you think your mother-in-law would be proud of you as a father that you become?
Yeah, I mean, she was always on me. She was a little softer on me. She wanted me to be a little softer. Okay. Like she knew, and that maybe because she's got grandkids. But she would be. And, I always, that's one of the things too. Like I always think about like, because I talk to her, like I'll talk to her just in my head on my way to work, or like, even now I'll just talk to her, hey, like I got this thing, like give me some Reiki, give me some vibe, give me this and that. Am I doing a good job? And like, it's weird. Like I see these numbers, it sounds crazy. Like I'll see like triples of numbers, dude, like 4s or like 5. So like when I got my Cobra, my Super Snake, the license plate came in, dude, and it was 444. It was FA 444, like 256, whatever it was. Like, and I'm like, wow, dude. And it's like, you look up 444, dude. It's like guardian angel, and like just weird. Like, I'll be in the bank account, and the bank account will be like, like whatever 777. And I'll be like, what the fuck, dude? Like, it's just weird. Like, it's just random shit like that I'm not looking for. Like, and it'll be. And I actually went to a medium, dude. Like, I went to a guy.
I was just gonna ask that. Yeah.
My wife and I went to this guy, and originally my wife was gonna go, and then she was like, "Oh, I don't know if I feel comfortable just going by myself." I was like, "Okay, like I'll go." Like, and he didn't know I was coming, but I was like, I also don't feel like you should go into some guy's house by yourself with like out me. And we went in there, dude. And the funniest thing is like my wife went in there to talk, but like she talked to me, and like she didn't even talk to her wife. And like a bunch of other people. She'll tell you a true story. And my wife did go through. And like, I'm a firm believer in that energy and stuff. Now, again, like I grew up Catholic, going to church every week, in school on Tuesdays, on Sundays. Like I don't go to church every Sunday now. My kids go to Catholic schools, but I'm a big believer in a higher power, and that energy, and those people and their spirits. And
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's weird, crazy. Now I don't mess around with the demon stuff. Like I leave you alone, you leave me alone. But I'm definitely like, I got this one guy, his name is Dave Doman, and he was actually my mother-in-law's boyfriend, and he died. He was a police officer, died in a accident. He's on my wall too, his police uniform, his badge, and all this stuff. And like he was talking to me through the medium too, and it was just weird, dude. It's just like you just feel the vibe. Like I'll be in the clinic by myself, and I'll be like, what the fuck was that noise? And I'll be like, how did this move on her desk? Like, what the fuck, crazy, dude? Like, and but what was your question?
The question I had was, you think your mother-in-law's proud of you as the husband that you become?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I'm you know what, dude? I have had to learn how to be a good husband, dude. Like I never was the best husband. Like my grandfather and grandmother, very, very, very old school, and how they run their household, right? And I'm very old school with that, and I kind of I've had to learn to bring a little bit of nuances and stuff like that. Yeah, because it's so old school that like it's like, I'm not telling her like what to wear or whatever, this and that, but like it's like you're not eating dinner until like we're home together as a family. And so, like I don't mind, like I get home, like the kids can eat, like whatever, but like my wife will wait because she'll feel bad. But my wife and I, when my wife's parents got divorced, we went to counseling because my wife had a lot of grieving, and she saw like a lot of things that like her dad did that like she saw that like I would do or whatever, or was scared to do. And so we've taken a lot of time to do like invest in our relationship, and we had a lot of time to do it because nobody was fucking hanging out with us, dude.
Yeah.
And even now, like, just like we were talking with Dr. AJ, dude, like it's so tough to turn off your brain from business, how we were wired, that like when you throw kids in the mix, then you throw a parent getting sick, and then you throw in this other business that you have, and you throw in this, like there's limited time to do anything. And like now my wife's focus is on the kids, the 501c we have for her mother, all that stuff. And it's one of those things where like, I that's probably like the hardest thing for me is just being the best husband I can. Like, not that I'm a jag-off, I'm not cheating on my wife, but like, like I need to do a better job sometimes of like, communicating or whatever. Like I struggle with that. And that's one of the things. Now I could talk to you and close to you and do sales and talk business, like, 100%. Now there's times like with my wife where like, I said this a little bit too harsh. I should have brought a little spice and sugar, but like I'm coming off a hot day. Like I'm not always like I'm trying to do 1,000 things, and I say something, not that I'm saying it mean, but it just comes off that way.
Sure.
I struggle with that.
I think that has a lot to do with just being a business owner.
Yeah.
And just, you're a 9-to-5er. You're living a regular life. You go home, you go home.
You don't have to check emails or answer calls, dude. Yeah.
When you own a business, it doesn't stop when you get home. So what are you going to do? It's like a double-edged sword. Where's the right, there's never right time for anything. It just keep going.
Even AJ was saying, dude, like it just, we asked him like, okay, what did you do? He's like, I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, I'm trying to find the answer because there's like, for all the stuff he does, like he said, he's like, I missed out on all that stuff. Like I'd be on calls when like, I came home, and I'm like, it's too tough to try to get so far without doing that stuff because there's the next guy that'll do it. So it's like, it's almost, and my wife knew, like my wife, she knew who I was when we got married. I told her what I wanted to do, and she knew we had no option. So besides me doing it,
she believes in you and sees the vision.
Yeah.
Where I think that's once again where we've always said this, who you pick, if they don't see it, it's a problem.
No.
And if they see it and they understand it, like AJ said, you're still working on it, but even though the wives don't understand, if they don't understand, you're screwed. You probably wouldn't even own a business if they don't understand, because you just wouldn't be, but because they understand that little bit, you feel like you're on top, you could conquer anything you want.
Yeah.
Right.
And vice versa too. Like she's always working on stuff that like she could be better and things like that. And just like you said, like because she was born into a family that had businesses, she saw it firsthand. So she's used to that. But the problem is when you throw all that stuff in there, her mother getting sick, you lose a lot of that one-on-one time that you had. Not that we would have had it any other way because we were starting off in business, but it just, you throw that mix in there. You're not thinking that when you start a business that someone's going to get sick, or you're going to have this problem or that problem or this and that. We didn't even talk about like the financial problems, like when I had that big loss and things like that,
Or signing contracts.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Those slappers.
That Apex story that we talked about with AJ,
Yeah. I want to talk about your marriage. I want to talk about your kids a little bit. I want to talk about...
Let's talk about you. What else?
What do you want to know about me? I mean, what do you want the people to know?
I mean, how do you balance work life? That's one thing that I think a lot of people are kind of curious about, and having a business, a thriving business, and having 2 kids, 2 small young children, and a wife that loves you. How do you balance all that so that everybody's happy? How do you keep all the buckets, equally full, if you will?
Yeah, I would say when I first started in business, it was a lot easier because we were a lot slower. And then the problem is once you get further on in business, you grow, and then you either start other businesses or you start other endeavors. And so when it was just me and my wife, it was no problem. I'd be able to balance it all, do this and that. You throw the first kid in there. Okay, cool. This is a little different. You got a different why. Then, okay, miscarriage. Okay, mother-in-law gets sick. Oh, fuck. Now it's a real change. And then, okay, she passes. Now another kid. So your buckets of energy go in different places. Like for me, like when we first started, there was nothing for myself. It was just all for the business. My wife was involved in the business, so she got the bucket. But like even now, like, like I worked a full day. I came home and did this. Like I didn't spend that much time with my kids. I'm not, gonna regret that right now. Like I'm doing something for them. Like a lot of people be like, oh, well, you came home. I saw my kids. I spent time with them. I picked her up from school today because I had this show like we talked about. I'll take her to school tomorrow. And anytime I can bring my kids with me to work or to a job, that's where I'm going to get involved. Because I tell my wife this, like when we first had kids, I used to get so frustrated because I'd be like, they only rely on you. Like besides me changing a diaper or whatever, like I can't talk to them. Like, you know who I am. Like I'm looking at my wife, you know who I am, and that I'm the guy that's communicating with you and talking, hey, I want to do this. Let's do this. Like for me, like now my daughter is 5, my oldest. Dude, I'm having conversations about money, about real estate, about business, about this. Like, this is my time now. So I can have that conversation with her and I could teach her. Now, from 1 to 4, or 1 to 3, like, there's not that I'm not present. I am present all the time. But for me, my business is number 1, my wife is number 1, and then my kids come second. And I would say no matter what, like, I put my wife above everybody. And some people will disagree with that. Like, I put her above my kids. But, dude, without my wife, I wouldn't have a business. I wouldn't have kids. And at the end of the day, if shit goes south, like, all I have is my wife.
That's right.
It don't matter. Because I'll tell you, every dollar you make, it once you hit a certain, cash flow or wealth or whatever you want to say, like, there comes a point where you could buy the nicest shoes. You could buy the nicest watch. You could buy the nicest house, nicest car. And at the end of the day, there's no fulfillment, dude. Like, it sounds crazy because I started off being like, oh, I want to be able to buy this, and I want to be able to buy that, and I want to be able to take care of my wife, and I want to have her to be able to not have to worry about, spending whatever on the credit card or debit card. And then you're like, okay, dude, like, we can do this, but this isn't fulfilling. Like, I don't want another car. I don't want another house. I don't want this.
You're always looking for that next. You reach that level that you wish you would get to, and you reach it, and you're like,
no goals ever attainable mindset.
Yeah. There's
just
no
keep going.
There's no life balance, man. Especially when you have kids, there's no life balance. And like, to me, it's like, I wouldn't even say it's a balance. Like, if I'm with my kids, I am dialed 100% in with them. Like, when we coach soccer or when I'm doing homework with them, like, I'm not fucking off on the phone. Like, I'm dialed in. Like, when I picked her up from school, hey, how's your day, Viv? Like, okay, what was the letter of the day? What'd you have for lunch? Okay, cool. Did you stay dry? Did you pee your pants? Okay, great. Like
all
okay.
those things.
Okay, when we get home, okay, you need to make sure you wash your hands. Let's do this. And then, okay, if we have time, then we'll go play in the snow. Like, it's like systematic so that you get the most done in the most time.
For sure.
And it works for me. Like,
everybody's relationship has to work for them.
Yeah.
I think one thing that I'd say, obviously being older, my kids are older, I've been married longer, and then seeing you guys do this, it's good to see that because a lot of these guys now, they're raising the kids more so than the women. And the women in my life and what I've seen and who I know and whatever I know, that most people that are the way they are, the women raised the children. The man was glorified by the wife, and she made it to where the kids looked up to their father like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're king.
Yeah.
And they're queen, we're king, and the kids knew when your father's home, this goes on, that goes on, whatever. My wife does it for me. I mean,
100%. And vice versa. Like, if my daughter lips off at my wife,
they're dead.
Absolutely not. Like, they know that she's number 1, and that's it. There's no lipping off, and then vice versa. And it just, those are the standards that you have to have in order to, because you want your kids to have a a good, loving relationship. You don't want it to be one-sided when they get older. You want to try to show them and give them an example of what can be, what can be achieved. And, if I'm doing this and I'm hitting those goals in my marriage and business, like that for me is like the best example I can give my kids. There's no other example. Mm-hmm. They can't say, oh, I didn't have this example. There's no like excuse. Like, dude, I gave you the example. I set you up. Like, what more do you want?
And imagine our parents, her parents, like they ran a business, but they didn't have to deal with all the modern technology,
marketing, social media,
everything.
Google.
I mean, somebody opens up tomorrow, you're done, right? Mm-hmm. There's so much that could change every single day where you're keeping reinventing and doing things that, like, there's so much more as a business owner. Where back in the day, those guys like your father-in-law and everyone else that ran businesses, restaurants, whatever, they didn't have to deal with that. So it's
different time.
It's way different times. And to then raise your family, be a great husband, be a great father, be a great friend.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah. What's one small behavior that you feel like you do or would like to do that would make your girls feel more loved and your wife feel more loved?
A small behavior.
Yeah, so small. I'm not talking about putting 12, 15 hours a day, and I'm not doing it. What's a small thing that, you would do for your daughter, Vivi, because she probably can feel it more? Your wife, what's something small that you could do?
For my kids, man, trying to think, like for my wife is very like sensitive. She's very soft. Like if I in the morning, like if I write on her coffee cup, like, hey babe, have a good day, like you're awesome, like shit like that she likes. If I write her a note, bring home flowers, like she's not one of those girls that like needs to get a Gucci or needs to get like a Louis. Like she's very like simple. Like she likes those little acts of appreciation and love. For my girls, it would just be like, I wouldn't say it's an act of like kindness, but like, like Carmi has no clue, but like, I would just say like time, like being present with them, like coaching the soccer. Like we could have done 1,000 other things on Saturdays, you and I, but like, she's going to remember, hey, my dad's the coach. Like, and I want to be able to have her say that, dude. I mean, even if it takes up a couple hours on a Saturday, it's not every Saturday forever.
Sure.
So
that
yeah.
You're MLS over here.
Yeah. No, but I don't know if I have like a specific act or something like that to do better. If I do, I hope they tell me. I always ask my wife, hey, am I doing the best I can? Can I do something better? Like, what can I do?
Simple questions like that go a long way because she appreciates you even asking.
Yeah.
So
don't get it twisted, dude. We get in our fights. Yeah. So like
everybody does.
That's what I can't stand too. Is like there's like I'm not one of those guys that post on social. Like the beautiful family and this and that. Like I'm more of a scroller, anyways, on social. But like I don't feel like I need to show the world everything either. But also like I'm not gonna just post like we're some happy family or like we're the Joneses. Like this is not how we are. Like shit goes south. It is what it is.
Paulo, to your question to him, I think in relating you guys and just talking about this, because we're all kind of in the same similar boat, isn't this like as you strive to get great and do what you're doing every single day, isn't this what we kind of, the whole purpose is to keep growing your business and doing all this stuff to where you get that freedom. Mm-hmm. To enjoy the time with your kids, to go out with your wife. My busiest days are the weekends.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Oh, babe, we're not going to dinner tonight. It's just, I can't leave. It's a Friday night, Saturday night. We're busy.
Right.
That's what, to me, where you're asking him, the more you push, where people just don't quite understand that, I think the more that you put and dedicate yourself into perfecting your craft is going to pay off for you in the end. With getting that freedom of being able to pay this person or go here or go there or get that babysitter and a dinner, dude, you're talking like $1,000.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to talk about that. Like, dinner, drinks, maybe a show, maybe this, maybe that, and then you got to go pay the babysitter at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Dude,
The other question, the other answer to that is like getting like your family involved. Like my wife is involved just like yours. Like she might not be there every day, okay, but she's on the back end, and we're doing stuff for the 501c. And my kids are involved. They'll come to the social stuff. Like Vivi will come. Like I think that's the best way. People love it, and then also like. I enjoy having my kid there, like Vivi, now that she can like be there, and even if she, you know, just messes around or whatever, like she's there and like she's with daddy. Like if we go to one of the real estate properties and we got to do this, like she takes pride in that, dude. Like, and for that gives me the joy. So if there's one thing I could do is probably
you got doctor number 2 upstairs. She just took care of my little boo boo on my leg.
Yeah,
she's like, I'll get the doctor back.
Yeah, she's the best, dude.
Crazy.
What other questions?
Let's talk about that 501c real quick. Can we talk?
Sure.
Can we dive into that a little bit?
Yeah.
Talk us about what it is and why you opened it up and what your goal behind it is.
Yeah. So my mother-in-law Carla, she passed in 2023, and so during the grieving process, I don't know how we talked about it, but it came up about another person who lost a family member that started a 501c. And they were saying how it's been like a really good way for like a grieving process. That way you can bring light to some sort of charity or whatever, and that you're also bringing light to that person that passed, so they're not forgettable. And so I was like, oh, that's a genius idea, dude. Like that's a great idea. Like we can do something that's productive for people that keeps a legacy of my mother-in-law, and that's how we started. We wouldn't have started it without doing that. And so it's been a really good way. It's called Lala's Wings, and it's been a really good way for my wife to cope with her mom being gone, and then also have like a purpose of helping people. So it's been a good thing on both sides, on the personal side for my wife, and then also on like a helpful side, helping people, and that's where it started. And so we fund it from the clinic. We fund it through the Women's Wellness event. We fund it through our poker charity events that we do. My wife's gonna write a children's book. She probably doesn't want me to tell everyone, but she's in the works of writing a children's book to help fund that. And there's a bunch of other things that we do, some donations, some sponsorships. And so all the money is piled together. And what we do is we use it for people that are in need of that type of cancer. So like one of the things is that we buy wings for moms or women that can't afford it. This actually tomorrow we're going to donate presents to kids that are in foster care and things like that. And so there's a wide range of ways that we kind of utilize that money. And again, you're putting her name on it, so you're giving her blessing of being able to keep her legacy, and then you're also keeping her legacy. And it's a great way to keep her mom's spirit alive and kind of go from there. So I would recommend, if you're in the grieving process, if you've lost a family member and you want to be able to help people, even if it's on a small scale, just being able to have that legacy and have maybe it's one keynote event that you have per year. You know, it's something for you to do. It's helped my wife quite a bit. I'm on the board, but I'm not heavily involved in making the day-to-day decisions and operations for that. My wife is, but it's been a huge thing. And people love to support it, especially people from the clinic. They always ask, dude, like, even if it's not, you know, a financial thing that they can donate, how can I help?
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things.
Spreading the word.
Yeah,
It's
that's
beautiful.
it, man.
That's beautiful. Speaking of legacy, how do you want to leave your legacy behind? What do you want to be remembered as Drew the chiropractor, Drew the father, Drew the husband, or what do you want to be known as?
I would say, I don't know. I look at it in a couple ways. Like a legacy, like if I'm asking my wife, like, I would say like the legacy is that like I did everything I could for her and for her family and to take care of her and give my kids the best life. You know, and then for my kids, it would be similar. It would be that, you know, my dad did everything for us. He taught us how to win. He taught us how to do whatever, whether that's, you know, how to be a good person, how to be a business owner, how to be this, how to raise a family. That's more what matters, man. Like the money in business, like they help you take care of your family, but passing that stuff along to me, like those traditions and things like that. Mm-hmm. Like I do the business for one, selfishly, because I enjoy the hustle and I enjoy the grind, and then two, obviously to provide. So as far as a legacy, like I could give a shit, like if you know, there's 100 people at my, you know, celebration life, dude. But those 100 people that come, dude, like those are my boys. Mm-hmm. Those are my people, like ride or die. Like I don't need to have, you know, 1 million people. I'm not looking for that because I know it's not out there.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm setting myself up for failure, dude. Like I want to know that like I help people. I was respectful. I raised like, you know, like I don't need this legacy of like, oh, he was the greatest, like, dude, like, no, like, most importantly is my friends and the people that I'm loyal to and that are loyal to me, and that's all I need. Like, I'm not looking for, you know, to be this legacy thing, but like, if I know that, like, you know, when I passed, that like I did everything I could to help you, okay, or to help you, or to help my kids, or whatever, even if there's nothing in return, you know, like, for me, that's what it is, because I didn't get that help.
Right.
So like I understand what it means to be in that pinch and to be like, fuck, dude, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to pay for this. And then just kind of figure it out. So I have that little soft spot for people in that sense, but I'm only soft in that sense if I see like a work ethic and I see hard work in that thing. Like I'm not going to come up to you and offer you a job. Now, if you come up and say, hey, I need some work, no problem, dude. Like, let's go. Like, I'm not going to come to you and be like, hey, we got to do this. No, like if you like show me leadership in the sense of like getting up and wanting to win, I'll go above and beyond, dude. Right. I'll probably lose money
to the
just trying to help. Yeah,
100%.
Because like I'm like, dude, you want to help win? Perfect. Show up here. Let's do this. Like if you show the work, dude. Like, and that's just not just with me. That's my experience with a bunch of people. A lot of successful people that I've reached out to before, and I've actually shown them that I care and that I want to win. These people will open up the cheat code, dude. They will tell you everything that they've done. They will connect you with everybody that they're connected to, and they're not going to charge you because they see how much you want to win, as long as you put in the effort, you know? So I don't know if that answered your question.
I think that's like one of them, like business owner, father, friend, whatever. I think that's kind of like the biggest thing for anybody that's not just living life, right? You have to help when you go through all that stuff, your goal in life is to help people so they don't go through it, or that most people don't know that somebody's around, or that they do have the help. We're here, right? We're all like, that is something that most people won't even like confide in. You can confide in me because I got your back.
Yeah.
Especially if you know that they mean well and they can still hustle and do it.
Right.
And I think that I say that because like I see my grandfather now, like 92, and I say, you know, like, you know, he would talk. Obviously, he knows he's not going to, you know, no one's going to make it out alive. But like, you know, he's got all the money in the world, dude. Like all the money in the world, all the real estate in the world. Like, but he'll tell you, like, dude, like I just enjoy sitting here with you. Like I could go and fucking be on the beach or whatever. Like, but I enjoy like teaching you, and like that's like it, dude.
Yeah.
Like don't get me wrong, I love to be on the beach or whatever, but like when my kids are older, dude, and they got businesses, bro, you better believe it, I'm fucking gonna be in the grind with them, dude. Like I'm gonna be itching. Like I'll be like, it'll be a little tough because I'll be like, oh, we gotta do this, but like, all right, take a step back. Like, okay,
pops,
I don't want to be that fucking, you know, that dad, but like, you know, like I want my kids to win, and like so, like my daughter now, dude, like she wants to win, like Viviana, like dude, she. You know, like she's a little soft like my wife. The youngest is a little bit tougher, a little bit rougher, but like she doesn't like to lose, dude. And when she loses, like she takes that personal. And, you know, it is what it is. Like, and I don't mind. Like, and I'll fucking win. Like, if we're playing something, dude, like I'm not going to let her win just to win.
Never.
No.
Not because I want to be a jag-off, but like you don't always win.
Gotta let them learn. Yeah.
You know?
I saw this video today. It's kind of funny. They were talking about kids and playing video games. And I laugh because, you know, if you see it all over social media all the time, all this stuff, where people are like, you know, these kids, they just play video games, this and that. The one difference that I see that nobody really talks about is we played video games like that. I don't know about you guys, but like Nintendo.
Yeah, I played video games.
Atari.
Grew up with Nintendo.
Dude,
Sega.
Everything. All day.
The original
we played
Xbox,
it just
dude.
like these kids. But the one thing that I know that I was watching in this video, and it was funny because you don't realize it, the games that we played were you start and then you die.
Yeah.
And when you die, you got to get past that. And you start over. when these new games, they just keep going the same game.
It's never ending.
It just
respawn.
Yep, they tell you how to do it, what to do it. These kids are like, oh, I got to watch this guy's video to how to do it. But they don't learn.
There were real consequences in those video games back
100%.
then. You died and you
got
started over
so far
again.
in Mario and you're like, you died right before? Oh my God, I got to go back.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's crazy. You don't think about it, but because I'm sitting there and I look like a buddy of mine, he's like, my kid plays video games all day. I play video games like that all day too.
Yeah.
I went outside all the time too, but like I play video games like crazy. And I love video games, sports games, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just the way they made these games now, it's totally different compared to what
they're intentionally made to keep people hooked.
Oh, for
keep
sure.
The kids hooked and
well, and I
keep
think
going.
that these kids these kids look at it like, oh, well, I don't have to do shit and I could sit here all day and do this and I can make money off it. But the reality is you ain't. No. Unless you're, which is a business owner being completely obsessed, driven, like hustle to get to the top of being there. Where these guys just think, where all the younger kids, I think, it's more like, hey, I could just play little video games. I'm going to get paid. Well, that's like, hey, I'm going to just open up a pizza place, and then they realize that it's open to close every single day, and you're not doing jack. Well, you're closed within a year.
What's one regret that you got? I mean, other than taking this podcast on and being interviewed by us, what's one regret that you have?
In what aspect? Family, and business?
Anything. Business, family, whatever, relationship. Sounds like, I mean, after talking with you, I could probably guess that there aren't many because you do everything 100%, but.
Sure. I would probably say the one thing that comes to mind, like, would probably be just not spending enough time with my grandfather. I mean, even though he's still alive. I mean, and it's weird to say that because I spent every day. So it's like, I don't know if there's anything more I could squeeze out of him. Like, I don't have a regret with, like, my mother-in-law and, like, how much time we spent because literally she was with me, every day of the week more than she saw me more than she saw her own kids. And so that's that. But, like, that would be my only regret is not having enough time to spend with my grandfather who's, he's still alive. And it's one of the reasons why we're doing this podcast. But, yeah, I mean, that's the main regret is not having enough time. And
I think that's, in general, everything, right?
Yeah.
There's never enough time. I think most people that are hustlers and whatever, I don't think anyone, I wouldn't say weak people, but people that live in regret don't ever blossom, right?
Sure.
So how do you ever regret something? Maybe, you had a bad friendship or you lost somebody or, I don't know, something that you could have went in this car or that car or whatever. But really, every day you're growing and you're learning. So, guys like us don't really, I mean, me personally, I kind of, like, I'm listening to him and I think to myself, like, I don't really have many regrets, because you learn from your mistakes and you just keep growing.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that regret. There's no regrets that like define you. It's just like when I said that thing too, like my grandfather, like wishing he had like a more time, like he would look at me and be like, dude, you know everything.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're busy. Like, I get it. Like, I was there. Like, I was in business for 40 years. Like, you don't have to apologize. Like, so it's almost like those things. Like, I feel bad, even though he's like, dude, you've got everything. Like, you don't need me no more. And so that's the hardest thing is to be like, him saying like, you don't need me no more. Like, it's like, well, fuck, dude. Like,
no, I do need you.
Yeah. I don't know if I do, but like, it's one of those things where like, then it's like, oh, fuck, like, what are you going to do when he's not here? And it's like, okay, it's not that I don't know what to do, but it's almost like, not that you're dependent, but like you enjoy that comfort of being able to discuss topics and do that stuff because you're going to get a right answer, I would say just regretting not having enough time. And that's really it. Like, when I go to bed, dude, like, I don't have regrets. Like, if there's an issue with my wife, like, or whatever, like, I can't put my head down. Like, I take care of it, like, I don't like to have that on my conscience. Like, some people can just, have that stuff on your conscience, like, dude, like, I want to go to bed. Like, I feel like something's wrong. And if there is, like, I can't go to bed. Like, it just...
Or you just want to talk about it.
Yeah, and not just with my wife, just with whatever. Like, if there's a problem and I don't have a... Like, let's just say there's a problem and I don't figure it out by the end of the day before I go to bed, I'll make sure I have a plan of action to take care of that problem as soon as I get up in the morning. That way I'm not leaving it to be like, oh, fuck it, we'll deal with it tomorrow. No. I'm going to figure out the problem or the plan, how to fix it, because tomorrow morning, I can guarantee there's going to be another problem that takes precedent. So I don't want this problem to overlap that one. So I have to be proactive. I pre-frame myself into thinking, okay, if I don't get this done, this is what I have to do in the meantime to manage it, and then this is what we're going to do. And then if I fix the problem, great. If not, okay, here's the plan of action, whether it's with my wife, whether it's with my family, whether it's with work, whether it's with finances, whatever it is. So that for me, it's like, okay, I am always a planner. Like, I'm planning the next 5 steps because that's how I was taught to plan and to play chess in that sense, where a lot of people just go into work and show up. Like, when I go into work, I already know the next day, like, what we're going to do. And I already know if it's going to be a good week or bad week based off of the clinic flow, based off the cash flow, based off of the holidays for the week. Like, I already know because, 1, I've done it so many years, and 2, like, I can feel the clinic. I can feel the business, the heartbeat. I understand, like, the ebbs and flows. And so that just comes with a little bit of experience. But when you're starting off, you're like, I don't fucking know what to do at all. And you figure it out and you get kicked in the teeth.
Do you feel similar kind of regret that you weren't present or not around your wife as much as you did when you weren't with your grandpa?
No shot, dude. My wife knows that, this is what I got to do for her. Like, for example, like when we had our daughter, it was during COVID, right? So, like, when we went into the hospital, they test you for COVID. You got to stay there. It was on a Monday. I didn't know when we were going in. I just was like, okay, she's... we got to go in for this 41-week ultrasound. She went in. They said, okay, you got to go. We're going to, take you in. We're going to meet you today. And you got to go in. So we got admitted. She got in. She had the baby, 24, 48 hours later. Like, I wasn't supposed to leave. I left, went to work, snuck out, and then came back because I had to take care of the business. Like, I don't feel bad for that because I did that for my wife and for my kid. Now, my wife just had a C-section, and I literally left work, came back to work. Left work, came back to her, took care of the baby all night while she would sleep, then get up and do the same thing, and then we were released on the Friday. Like, even now, I did that with the other one. Like, we went in, 24, 48 hours, long day, boom. I had to get up and go to work the next day because the business has to run. It is what it, just like my mother-in-law. She died, I had to go to work the next day. It just is what it is. Yeah. I don't have that luxury of being like, oh, somebody passed, this and that. Like, for one, it was more of a good separator for work for me mentally. So it helped me, I would say, like, kind of cope with that stuff, whether it's with Carla passing or with the kids. But, like, I don't have regrets in that sense, man. Like, there's no, like, with the time I spent with my wife compared to my grandfather, like, I can spend... 5 minutes with my wife, and I could spend, an hour with my wife. Like, to me, like, right now, my main focus is being able to provide, take care of the kids, raise the kids. Obviously, the time that I had with her before kids is a lot different, but this is what it means to be a family man. Like, I have to give up my relationship with my wife so that she can take care of my kids. Not saying that I'm not putting her number one, but I got to give up that because that's her job and that's what she wants to do, right? And so I respect that.
Absolutely.
Like, and I say, you know what? Like, I would love to be able to get more energy out of you at 10 o'clock at night, but I know you're gassed, babe.
You're tired.
And, like, I get it. And then it is what it is. So, like, a lot of people are like, oh, my God, my spouse doesn't love me. No, dude, like, everybody's doing their fucking job. Like, it ain't lollygagging. It ain't like it was, like, before where it's all roses. You can have kids. Like, you can go out, like, be spontaneous. Like, dude, you're here for a job, and your job is providing and being a father and being the best you can for your spouse. So, and don't get me wrong, like, my wife feels like we can spend more time and vice versa, but there's only limited time. If you want to take care of the kids, if I want to be able to go to work, if you want to do the 501c, if you want to do the gingerbread party, if I want to do the podcast, like, we either got to cut stuff back and do this, but then you don't feel fulfilled because you're not just a mom. and I don't feel fulfilled because I'm not just a chiropractor. Like, we have to blend this together. And so that's been the hardest part of like growing with a business. Like, you just started in business, so you're seeing like kind of like oh fuck, man, like there's no time for the kids, like, and it's like, dude, I don't even sweat it no more, bro, because like there is time, and you just got to stay up later, get up earlier, and just like, you know that it's not forever, bro. Like, you know it's not forever. Like, don't get me wrong, I could pull back at work, but then like, okay, we're not going to be able to do what we want to do. Sure. I'm not going to be able to send the kids to Catholic school. Not going to be able to like worry about, okay, how much gas can you put in the car? Like, I don't want that, dude. Like, and it to me, it's like, I'll give up a little bit of my life for my wife and kids. I've got no problem with that, because if let's just say I die, dude, at 50, and I don't get to hang out with my wife or enjoy that, you know what, dude? It is what it is. I did my job. And at the same purpose, like, once we get there, like, I'm not going to have to work till I'm 70. I'm just not. Like, I'm doing what I have to do now so I don't have to, and then I could be with my kids, I could be with my wife. And so it's the long game for me, you know? Like, I started early to get to that long game, where some people are like, they want to have that balance. And for me, it's like, I accepted it. Like, I was never going to have a balance because I didn't have any help. So I knew, like, right away, like, you know, trust me, bro, you think I don't have a life now? Imagine when I first started.
It's worse.
It was way worse. Imagine when my mother-in-law was sick and I didn't even get to see my wife. Right. It was way worse. So now it's like, I'm seeing my wife a lot. I'm seeing my kids all the time. Yeah. Like, so this is like, you know, it's a plus, you know? And so it just is what it is.
It's so funny because this will be on social media or something, and everyone's going to be on there, oh my God, you're such a mean man, this and that. Dude, you don't even know what it takes to do the things that we do or he does on a daily basis, or you do now with doing everything that you got to do. There's no like it's all precise, like thoughts. Like, you just got to go. You can't, like, every day's another day, and you just got to dominate it. You can't have like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. Blah, blah, blah. It's just, you go.
Yeah. You got to have some questions in the pipe that you haven't asked me. Like,
I got a question. What's your goals? What's something you want to, the next couple years, what's something you really want to move forward with doing, growing, be about?
Yeah, so like, as far as like goals, like business goals, financial goals, like where the clinic's at, like, I'm happy where the clinic's at. Like, I've hit the max, per se. I mean, we could always do a little bit better, but I would say where we're at is, you know, I'm the 1% of people in my profession that can do that at my age, at 33. Now, I could replicate that, but just like we talked about with AJ, it's very difficult to replicate that and put somebody in there and not be off-brand. So for me, like, I just was like, okay, well, what can I do that I enjoy and then still be involved in business? So like, my next pivot, it would be like consulting and teaching people like how to run a business, from service providers to dentists to chiropractors to MDs to DOs to DCs to attorneys, accountants, and basically telling them and showing them how to run a brand, how to run a business, because then I'm still talking about business and I'm still in it, you know, like, I enjoy that, and that's what I'm good at. So like, and the one thing that, like, for the guys that are listening that are my consulting clients, and one of the reasons why you guys are with me is because I'm not just telling you guys what to do. Like, I'm actually in the trenches. Like, I actually have
lead by example.
I actually have a tax return that shows you, like, the proof is in the pudding. And like, I'm not just like saying, hey, do this is what worked. Like, it's not a one size fits all. Like, if you have like a business coach or whatever, and they have like a program for you, dude, like, you're just getting stroked paying whatever it is per month to just do their thing. But in business, it's not a one size fits all system. It's dependent on who you are, what your brand is, and where you want to go. And some people, strategies are different, and some people's strategies are less. Some people can go quicker. Some people want to go quicker, and some people you have to hold their hand and go slower. And it is what it is. And the people that we work with, like, I vet them. They come to us and they say, hey, I got this problem. And I'm like, hey, man, I would love to help you, but I just don't think you have the drive. And it's not because I don't want to help them. It's because if it's something that I'm doing and it's a product and a result of me, we're going to win. Like, because if you're failing, I don't want you on my team. And if your work ethic and your drive isn't there, it is what it is. And I have that option, because I'm not going to waste my time, even if you pay me money. I'm not going to waste my time for somebody that doesn't want to win. If it's just going to be like, hey, just shooting this shit. No. Okay, what's today? We're on a timeline. Let's get here. Like, because you're a product of me. You're representing me. Because if you go somewhere else, let's just say you fail and you say I don't work, well, you're going to blame it on me. You're not going to blame it on yourself, right? So,
especially if they paid you.
Yeah, exactly. If they paid me. So that's why we take a limited number of spots. And like that takes up a huge amount of time. That's what we started before the podcast, because it was like, okay, well, like, what more do you want to do? Do you want to, build another clinic? Do you want to do this? And like, when you guys get to a certain point of business, you're like, I don't want any more headaches, man. Like, if I have more headaches, then I have more tax problems. Then I have more employee problems. Then I have more revenue problems. Then I have more rent problems. And you're like, fuck it, dude. Like, just maintain and stay at the high level that you're at, that you can get to personally, and then you go vertical in what you enjoy doing. Because it's not like what you're doing you don't want to do every day. Like, you enjoy going to work. I enjoy still going to work. I enjoy being around people. If I had to sit behind a desk and just do the consulting all day, I would go fucking nuts. So, like, I enjoy doing that. And then, yeah, I can always pivot and bring somebody else on, but, like, I don't want to have all these multiple offices, or like some people want to have like multiple, like restaurants or multiple businesses. Like, dude, I'm very good at doing one thing at a high value, and I have no problem with charging that high value, because you get a high value product.
Sure.
And I value what I get. And so that creates a brand. And when you build a brand, people are loyal to the brand. Like, just like you, they'll drive from wherever.
Yep.
And so that's the goal for me, is to branch out into this consulting and just helping people win. And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this podcast, is to help people win. And so that'd be the end goal for that. And then, on a personal side, like, the end goal is to get to a point where passive income, is $1 million a year, and you have real estate built up, and it's funneling into trust, and then you just live off of that. And then you just pivot, man, and kind of go from there. So that's the end goal. That's like the goal. But even when I hit that goal, or whenever we get to some sort of goal like that,
you'll
like, I feel
bigger.
like
Still going.
I wouldn't say something bigger, but like, I'm not the guy to just sit there and go golf all day, or like, do that. Like, I enjoy like going on the boat and fishing and being on the beach, but like, I gotta have my hands in something, dude. It just is what it is. And that's just, even now, like, my grandfather, like, he's on the mower, dude, at 92. Like, it's like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to disappoint you. Like, this guy's at 92, he's still fucking working. Like, I can't say I'm fucking tired.
He's challenging you.
I tell myself this, like, I can't tell myself I'm tired, bro, because he's fucking 92 and he's still going. Like, he's 3 times my age. Like,
on the mower.
Like, bro, like, yeah. Like, you can't tell yourself you're tired, dude. Like, that's just inspirational,
What's a chiropractic miss that you just wish would die?
Probably that we cause strokes or something like that, But, like, it's funny because, like, I used to get upset about, like, oh, the chiropractic's this and that, and, quacks or not real doctors and blah, 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 blah. And, like, it's so funny because it's just an uneducated person, like, if you're watching this and, like, you have no clue about, like, chiropractic and whatever it is, like in Illinois, like, you're considered a PCP, which is a primary care physician. Like, that's on my license. Like, I can write x-rays, MRIs, CTs, like, I write scripts for stuff. I can do all these things. I just don't prescribe medicine. I have to take 4 national board exams, just like an MD has to do. The only thing different is I work for myself. I don't work for a hospital. They don't tell me what to do or how to treat the patient. I do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And there's bad. The problem is there's bad people in every profession. That's just chiropractic care. That's in the pizza industry. That's in the medical field. That's in the attorneys. That's in the accountants. That's in the marketing. There's bad people in every profession, and so those are the people that put, a negative light on this shit.
Sure,
absolutely. It is what it is. But like, if you're uneducated and you're gonna believe that stuff and like not actually filter through the bullshit, then it is then you're naive.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's like me thinking that, every person that comes in the door, like, wants to fuck me. Like, they want to try to take advantage of me or, like, have a malpractice claim.
Right.
Like, no, dude. Like, it's just, there are people.
Sure.
But, like.
Yeah, be careful. What's a patient stereotype that kind of drives you nuts?
For, like, what? Like a patient stereotype in the sense of?
Like what's something that you see, see patients kind of fall under, and you're like, oh man, this is going to be like showing up late, not doing the work, being lazy, or putting up,
Sure.
walls.
Yeah, well, we kind of weed those people out, just based off the systems. So we have a level of commitment that we expect, and like the staff is trained on like, hey man, if like, let's just say you missed 2 or 3 appointments, like the staff will handle it, then I'll handle it. Like, hey, Paolo, truly appreciate you being a patient. You know, you've missed 2 or 3 appointments, just no call, no shows. Unfortunately, dude, like our time is super valuable and we want to help people win. Unfortunately, like I'm going to have to just refer you to somebody else. I love you. I think you're a great dude, but unfortunately, like we can't leave a 5 o'clock open for somebody else that needs the help. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I'd love to help you, you know, and sometimes you get pushback.
Yeah.
But like what you do, I would say 95% of the time you get pushback, but like we've done a job where we've kind of weeded those people out, and so you attract who you are in business. I mean, somebody told me that way back when, but like you attract like your clientele. Like we don't take care of basically anybody, minimally people over 65. We don't take care of pediatrics. Our bread and butter is like 20 to 55. Like those union workers, police officers, nurses, firefighters, like the people that like I know their lingo. I can talk to them like, you know, like the style of clinic that we run. Okay. So you attract those people and like they see the value that they bring. And like if somebody comes in with a case that I can't help, I'll be like, dude, I want to help you. I can't help you. Like it's just either it's a time thing for them. Like let's just say I say, hey, Paolo, I need to see you 3 times a week for 12 weeks. Can you do that? And you say no. It's okay. Why can't you do it? Oh, I got this, and this. Okay.
Well, do you expect, not to cut you off, do you expect people to kind of like do things outside of just going to see you? Or it's just you?
No, like if I was to ask you if you can come in 3 times a week and you say, oh, it's kind of tough. I'm like, okay, well, Carl, in order for me to help you get from where you're at to where you want to be, like I need to see you 3 times a week. If that doesn't work, buddy, then unfortunately I can't see you because all I'm doing is just lying to you and telling you that you're going to get where you want. Just like if you were to want to lose weight, right? If you go to the gym once a week and you don't do it, and how long is it going to take you? Probably
a long time.
You're probably never going to get there, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not the guy to not get you there. If you want to work for me, if you want to work with me, this is what we got to do. You see this x-ray?
There's a standard.
Yeah. And so I set the standard with the patients. And so for the stereotype, like I weed you out.
Yeah.
And like, because at the end of the day, the product is what matters. So the end experience for us is what people are going to tell people. Like Carlos would be okay, like the pizza, but he has control over that. I don't have control of the end product of if people aren't listening to what to do day in, day out. So I'm able to control that, right? Because I don't want a bad product out there. I'd rather not take a case for $5-10 grand because it's a headache.
Yeah.
And get a bad review or because it's not worth the money.
Yeah.
Because down the line it's gonna cause a problem.
It's gonna bite you.
I mean, even in your work, you might be someone that, hey, I'll pay you in full for this, and be like, okay, but like, fuck, I know this guy. Just something's off. He's gonna be a fucking problem.
Creep.
Like,
He's gonna be like, oh, can we also put this in?
It's not worth it, dude. Yeah, and then
this is all misaligned on this device that nobody ever looks at, and it's like nobody's even looking at that.
And when you start in business, you got to take everything you can.
Yeah.
But now it's like you have that luxury, and so like for us, like I think the funniest thing is when people come in to me and they call my office and they schedule with us, and I go through like what they need as far as help recommendations, and then they're like, oh well, I didn't think I was gonna have to pay, or like, what do you mean, like like. I have to come in 2 or 3 times a week, and they've been in pain for 10 years, and they're 15, 20 pounds overweight, and it's like, dude, it took you 10 years to get here. I can't just put my hands on you like Jesus and be like, oh my God, I'm the Messiah. Because if I did, I would be charging you $200,000-300,000.
Easy,
like,
right.
But
would you say weight has a lot to do with it?
At a certain point of weight, yes. But I would say like your general, somebody 30, 40 pounds overweight, like no per se. I mean, it doesn't help, but like the people that are severely overweight for sure. And I can't even work on them. Like I can't even physically move their bones. Like it is what it is, But I would say like, obviously the heavier you are, the more, gravity as far as weight is going to be put on your body because it's a constant force.
A lot of wear and tear.
Yeah, but it's, what, the guys that we see are like the union police officers, firefighters, the union construction workers, laborers, flooring guys, electricians, plumbers, the guys that are constantly using their body all the time. Like people don't believe me, but like the number one disability for like doctors is neck pain. So like surgeons and dentists that are like looking down all day. So like we have like a bunch of like surgeons and dentists like as patients, and people are always like, oh, this guy's a surgeon, this guy's a dentist. Yeah, dude, because they look down all day. Like, or hygienists, you know, or like things like that. Besides like your white collar workers. So, you know, and the funny thing is like, as much as, and we don't have to get on this topic, but as much as like, you know, the world pumps like medication and this and that, like the people that actually come in that are providers, like they just are the opposite, dude. Like they want as holistic as you can, which is like the craziest thing in the world, you know, because it's like you're living a double life, you know, like
strange.
Yeah.
That's strange.
So
how many times a day do people ask you just to crack them real quick?
Oh man.
Get that a lot? You get people say, oh, you're a chiropractor? Can you just do me a favor? Can you crack my neck right here real quick?
I usually don't bring up that I'm a chiropractor in public.
Yeah.
Because I just don't like to discuss work. Like if I'm at like a party or something like that, like people know. But like I don't like be like, oh my God, let me check your back. Like I would rather not, you know, because like I'm the firm believer, like we talk about on your show, dude, like when I'm at work, like I'm at work. When I'm outside of work, like I'm a dad, I'm a father, like I'm a friend, like if I provide a service, like, okay, I don't mind providing that service, but I'm going to provide it like when I'm at work. Like, I'm not going to come up to you and be like, hey, can you make me a fucking pizza at home? Like, you know, or something like that.
Right.
And that is kind of annoying because I'm sure people ask you all the time, well, how to make this best pizza or whatever. What do you do? And like, dude, or people ask me, oh, I got this fucking kink. And like, if you're asking me that, watch me a show. Like, dude, I'm just auto-tuning you out, unfortunately. But yeah, it's a common thing. Like,
it's a hard skill to master.
Yeah. Because it's like you don't want to be a jag-off, but like, dude, like, why don't you just call the office? Like, make an appointment. Like,
come and see me.
Yeah, like actually, because here's the thing. Like, if you're asking me, then you don't have the drive to like take the initiative to call me. So I'm not gonna like. It is what it is.
I'm not interested in doing that right now. Got it.
You know, but like, yeah, and that's like chiropractic stuff, but.
I think Carl's got a question he wants to ask over here.
I got a great question. What is your number one Stunad moment in your entire life?
Oh, in my entire life?
If you have one.
Ooh, man. My entire life. I would say, since I'm very systematic, if I could break it down in the last 6 months, I would say first is not starting this podcast earlier. That would be my first thing. And then I would say, like, overall, I would kind of go back to just maybe pushing myself more in the sense of, like, I wouldn't say, like, I'm kind of, like, plateaued, but, like, I needed, like, you guys to, like, you know, push me. Because not that you lose fire, dude, but, like, a Stunad moment is, like... You know, you get complacent, you know? Like, I had to put myself around guys that, like, were in the fight, like, I could get energy from, you know? And so, like...
I think that's a big decision in a lot of guys' lives.
I didn't have that. So, like, my Stunad moment probably was, like, I hit a point in business where, like, we're making money, we're having fun, but, like, there's no extra drive because I've achieved all that stuff with the drive. Like, you're like, okay, like, I need somebody to inspire me. I need guys to be around... whether it's you or Paolo or Turi or, you know, or Spano, those guys to, like, you know, be around and to get after it, because there's only, once you do that stuff, there's only so much, like, okay, like, I'm doing this for my wife, but, like, you need that extra fucking spark, you know what I'm saying? You need that, like, you know, 5 a.m. or whatever, 2 in the afternoon, like, check in, like, because you know, my wife can't always do that. She's got the kids or whatever. Like, but I can always.
It's not like competition, but it's like that friendly fire.
Yeah, and it's one of those. So like, and I kind of lost that, dude. Like when I got blackballed from my group back in the day, you know, when that was in 2018, 19 over there. So, you know, it is what it is, and we're
whipping it out. Who's bigger?
Yeah, you know. Definitely Paolo's over here.
No. Maybe at one time, but not.
You gotta yank at it a little more.
No, man, that's a Stunad moment, dude. I hope everyone like watching and listening gets some sort of inspiration. If you guys have a similar story, you know, definitely let us know. If you guys want to know more about my story, we didn't go into every little detail. There's never enough time to do that. But if there's anything that any of us can help you with, Carlo, Paolo, me, Joe on the back end with our media, our videography team, definitely reach out to us. Hit us up, guys. We are here to help you. Again, we don't do this for financial reasons. We do this to help build each other. We do this for ourselves. We're here to win. We're successful in our own lives, in our family, in our business life. And these stories that we tell you are not bullshit. Like, they're real life stories that I'm sure you guys are going through. And don't let all the drama, don't let all that stuff face you. You got to get up every day. You got to grind it out no matter what. Look at the guy to the left of you. Look at the guy to the right of you. If he's the guy in the fight sticking with you, make sure you hold on to that guy, dude, because there's not many of them. I'll tell you that. And so I'm super appreciative of everybody at this table right now. You guys are some of the closest people to have you here on the show. And yeah, that's what I got. Thank you, man.
Appreciate that.
I think this is a lot of people, even though you don't think it's helping them, you see the views, you see the things. People, they watch it, they're learning.
Yeah.
You just keep pushing. It's, helping
It's
people.
going to help people out.
Yeah,
sure.
Help us share the show, guys. Yeah, help us share the show. Help us reach more people. If you got a buddy or you got a gal that's like struggling, that like needs some help and motivation, like, dude, hit us up, send us our way. Like, what can we do?
Reach out to someone always.
Yeah, yeah,
especially if they've lived a life that you can respectfully admire or learn from.
Yeah, and nobody's perfect at this table. None of the guests are perfect, but every day that we get up, we try to be perfect, and there's always a failure. There's always a flaw, dude. But you know what? It's the guy that gets up every day, that doesn't quit, that says he's going to be better no matter what. That's all that you got to do. And if you do that, you're going to make yourself proud. You're going to make your friends proud. You're going to make your family proud, and that's all we can ask. So no matter what, get up every day and show the work ethic, show the grind. And if you guys need help, reach out. Don't be shy. We'll hit you guys up. We are the ones responding in the DMs, okay? It's nobody else, not Joe. It's all of us, all right? So if we can help you, let yourself be helped by connecting with us.
We're here for you. Thanks, everybody.